Hi guys. Hi. Live again. Back and ready to touch on this topic. I'm going to do a lot of questions tonight, so it's going to be fun. So let me give everybody some time to join in. This is going to be fun. Hi guys. Oops. Oh, that wasn't good. Let me get my when you guys come in, be nice and say hi. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Tonight's topic is going to be so powerful. Tonight's going to be a good night. I'm excited. Let me get my TikTok up and running. Hi guys, make sure you guys say hi to everyone in the chat. Hi. Today was a long day for me. Your girl is tired. It took everything in me to come on here and go on live again. But when I say I'm going to do something, I have to stick to it. So it doesn't matter. This is going to be fun. Let's see, who do we have coming in? Hi guys. Hi Jada. Hi Gayan. Thank you, honey. Hi Fatima. Hi Lorna. Hi Yairi. Ooh, that's an interesting name. I like that name. Yairi. Did I pronounce that right? Is it Yairi? I love that. Hi Mula. Hey Kayla. Yes, girl. I'm definitely on it. I gotta stay on it. Hi Tiara. Oh, Tiara. Yes. Hi. Oh my God. Everybody that's joining in has a beautiful name. Yairi. You guys are giving me like name ideals. This is beautiful. That's a beautiful name. Hi. Hi, Thems. All right. So we have a very interesting topic tonight. All right. So let's get started. And I'm going to be taking a lot of questions today. I know yesterday I didn't really do any questions, but tonight I'm going to be taking a lot of questions. So you can feel free to ask. So on my video today, I talked about the dangers for women and men. If you're in here, you can still take from this. Maybe you have a daughter, a sister, your girlfriend, your wife, your friend who's a woman. You know, like as a woman, I actually like to learn a lot about men, and I watch a lot of videos that are based on men and books written for men because I'd like to learn both genders. The more you know, the better. So I wanted to talk about women and the possibility of sexual blackmail, doxing, sexual blackmail, doxing, and creating a narrative to make you undesirable. Okay. Everyone can be a target for this, but beautiful women in particular are a target for sexual blackmail, um, doxing, and creating a false narrative to make you undesirable. Okay. So, as you guys can see in the thumbnail of that video, of course, I had Kim K and Ray J. We all remember the uproar that that whole situation caused, and how, you know, Kim was crying and her whole reputation was going to be destroyed. But of course, her mother, Kris Jenner, is a master alchemist. That's why she made all of her children millionaires. She's an alchemist. So whatever gets thrown her way, she's going to make something positive out of it. She's a very powerful woman spiritually. Kris Jenner is very powerful. That's why she created that empire. She's a powerful woman. So whatever is negative, she's going to make it positive. She's not going to let nothing break her family. And she is the queen of that family. That's why she was able to make all of her kids millionaires. She's on it. Okay. So a lot of times, in particular, beautiful women You will be a target for sexual blackmail. Okay. I feel like a lot of women don't understand the way that men talk about women amongst each other. Okay. Amongst each other, men talk about women like women are conquests. And come on, y'all, on TikTok, like and share the live. Let's get the numbers up. Let's share, let's get the numbers up. A lot of women don't understand that men see women as conquests. So, especially when you're attractive, amongst each other, they're like, who's going to bend her over first? Who's going to get in her pants first? How long do you think she's going to make me wait to sleep with her? I bet you I'll get her to sleep with me by date number 2. Like, that is how they're talking about you. And if you are not wise, you are going to let your guard down, okay, when you're dealing with men. When you're a beautiful woman, they're having group chats with your name in it, okay, and they are attracted to you because they want to sleep with you. Of course, they, want to have intercourse with your body and experience you in the bedroom and experience how you move in the bedroom. Men are, they're very sexual. So they're thinking about you and how you move and your body movements in the bedroom and, how you sound and, how you smell. And these are the things that they're thinking about when they see a beautiful woman. And you're going into the situation all innocent, not knowing that he's going into the situation, counting how long it's going to take him to get in your pants. How long it's going to take him to get in your pants. So, what I always tell women is to beware of sexual blackmail. Do not send that man pictures of you. Never send a man nudes of you. Don't. They will make up, yeah, exactly. They will make up a rumor and lie about you and say that you, didn't I tell you guys when I was in high school, that, and I'm sorry, you guys, if I start eating. Today was a very busy day for me, and I literally had a small cup of soup at 2 p.m., and now it's 9:30 and I haven't had anything. So I'm starving. Okay. So I'm going to take a bite of this, which is one of my favorites. And it's a hot pickle by Van Holten's. I like spicy and sour mixed together. It's so spicy and I love it. If I had Tabasco, I would be putting Tabasco on this. So please forgive me if I take a bite of my pickle in between my words. Your girl is hungry, okay? I've been up since 5 a.m. So, I could literally drink the pickle juice with a straw. It's so good. Okay, so you have to be careful when you are dating men. Do not send them pictures. I love pickles too. For all my pickle lovers, you guys got to look up the fried pickle recipe, where you put the pickles in the flour and you deep fry them and you dip it into either hot sauce or you dip it into tartar sauce. Honey, fried pickles, that's where it's at. Okay, so they will, when you're a beautiful woman, they will create these rumors about you. And I'm going to tell you guys a story about what happened to me at a church. Beautiful women are often used as prey or scapegoat. Beautiful women get set up a lot. I was talking to you guys about Blair and Serena. How many of you guys here have watched Gossip Girl? Comment if you've ever seen Gossip Girl. If you've ever watched Gossip Girl, please comment. Okay. You guys have all seen Gossip Girl. And if you haven't seen Gossip Girl, no matter how old you are, take this as a sign to watch it. But, ooh, oh my God. Right. A lot of times people try to use beautiful women as the scapegoat, the prey, the person to set up. And in that show, I loved Blair. I think Blair is the perfect example of a woman who is beautiful, who is aware of that, and who's not stupid. Blair does not care to be nice. Blair Waldorf doesn't care to be nice. She doesn't care to acknowledge anyone. She doesn't care to play nice. She doesn't care to play by the books. She doesn't care to spare anyone's feelings. If you mess with Blair Waldorf, it's on. And she's not going to backpedal until you're completely eliminated. And Serena, on the other hand, on the show, who's a beautiful woman, Serena was always getting into things, meaning she was always getting set up, blackmailed, used as prey. She was always being taken advantage of. On the show, Serena started having an affair with her teacher. I think she was like in 11th grade and her teacher was like 30, and she believed that her teacher loved her, but in reality, he just wanted to sleep with her. Her teacher was already married, okay? She was in 11th grade. He was 30. He was telling her that he loved her, all this stuff. And then once he slept with her and got what he wanted, he went back to his wife, right? So he blindsided her. He pulled the rug from under her feet and was telling her lies and making it seem like, hey, I'm going to leave my wife to be with you. But in reality, he just wanted to experience her. Okay. So Blair's relationship on the show with Serena, these are two very beautiful women. The difference between these two women is one plays games and one doesn't. Okay. And Blair was not playing. Blair knew people very well. She knew what people were capable of. If there was an issue presented to Blair, she already knew what the person's agenda was. She was not someone that you can get up off on. She was not someone that you can come in and play. I don't think Blair ever fell into a trap. And I think Gossip Girl was like 10 seasons. I don't think Blair ever fell into a trap in 10 seasons because she's too smart. And when people would meet Blair, because she's beautiful, people would meet Blair and assume that she's nice or that she's a bimbo or that she's an airhead. And they would soon realize this girl is like the devil. This girl is the devil. That is what people would get from Blair, because Blair went through a lot in her life. She went through a lot for her beauty. Her mom never liked her. Her mom was very jealous of her. She wasn't going to let anybody steal her shine, steal her light. She wasn't going to let anyone get in her way. She wasn't going to play games, and she was going to get whatever she wanted by all means necessary. Okay, she refused to allow defeat to come to her doorstep. Serena, on the other hand, was always looking for the best in people. Serena was always looking for the best in people. She was always trusting people. She was always, underestimating people's jealousy. She was always, underestimating how far someone will go. And in the show, Blair had to keep saving her. Blair had to keep saving Serena over and over and over and over again, because Blair used to call her an airhead. Blair used to be like, how could you not put 2 and 2 together to realize that this was a setup? And Blair would get annoyed because Blair was the friend that had to keep rescuing Serena, and she didn't like that, because Serena was the beautiful girl that went through life thinking the world was kind. So because of that, she would get set up and used, and men would expose her or get close to her to expose her. And she just wasn't very aware as to what was going on. And Blair had to keep on saying, hello, hello, like, can't you see what's going on? And I like to always use those two as an example of awareness. So that's why when Blair would walk in a room, and Blair was beautiful, they were kind of two different types of beauty. Blair was a brunette, Serena was a blonde. Me personally, if I was a guy and I had to pick, I'd pick Blair. I don't know, just her style, her aura. I would be more into her. But a lot of people say that Serena's prettier, right? And Blair was smart, like book smart, street smart, setup smart, like she was that girl. And Blair was somebody who was always watching her surroundings, okay, which is something I always tell beautiful women to do. Blair was always watching her surroundings, and Blair was not someone, she's always 15 steps ahead. You think that you're going to set her up, and then you fall into the trap that you created for her. So I remember there was a scene in the show where Serena met her boyfriend's best friend, which happened to be a woman. So they're all working on a project together. And Blair is noticing how Serena's boyfriend's best friend is looking at her boyfriend. And Blair pulls her to the side. Blair pulls not Serena and not Serena's boyfriend, Serena's boyfriend's best friend, which is a woman. Blair said, "Can I talk to you for a second?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." They go in the bathroom, they shut the door. And Blair tells her, "Listen, Serena may be an airhead, but I'm not. I see the way that you look at her boyfriend, that you claim he's just your best friend. I know that's not the case. I know you want him, and I want you to know that I'm watching you. You can leave." And the girl was in shock with how quickly Blair grilled her so fast, and how Blair put two and two together so fast and let her know, "I know what you're doing, and I got my friends back, and I'm watching you." And most women, most people don't expect that from beautiful women. They expect you to be aloof. They expect you to not be able to put two and two together. And because they expect that, when someone meets a beautiful woman who is smart, who can put two and two together, who is not aloof, who's very intelligent, that is when they get angry, because you will not be easy prey for them. People get a rise, and people enjoy being able to inflict emotional or physical pain on a beautiful woman, right? That's why they get happy when you don't have boundaries and you don't know yourself. But when they meet you and you have boundaries and you know yourself and you're not playing games and you don't play around with people, they don't like that, because now they don't have someone to make their scapegoat or to make their punching bag. Okay? They don't like that. Because I was watching a couple scenes on my timeline of the old Basketball Wives show. And this was Basketball Wives at LA. And I was watching like the snippets of season 1, and I saw the way that they treated Drea. They loved the fact that Drea didn't know herself. When she got on the show, she was like 25. They loved the fact that Drea did not know herself, and they loved the fact that Drea wanted their validation, that Drea wasn't confident, that Drea had an upbringing. So all of the women on Basketball Wives bullied Drea collectively. It was like her against 8 other women. She was the youngest and she was the prettiest. So they all bullied her. They brought up her parenting. They said she's a terrible mother. This one woman on the show said that she was worthless. Laura tried to beat her up in a Drea literally, there was an episode where she just got her boobs done. 2 weeks before that episode, she got her boobs done. But then they decided to go to like a boxing match alley where you get to like box with your friends. And yes, they did try with Malaysia, but Malaysia is a Leo. So Laura got her butt beat up. Laura Gavon got beat up because I'm a Leo woman, and we don't start anything, but if you start with us, you're going to the hospital. So they tried it with Malaysia too. They attempted to bully her when she got on the show as well. because when she got on, she was very young. Okay. They attempted her, and then everybody was like, oh no, this chick is from Compton, and she will beat you up. And they left her alone. Laura was so scared of Malaysia after that altercation that Laura called Malaysia up to break bread with her and make peace, because she thought she was going to bully Malaysia the way that she bullied Drea. And Malaysia got off her chair so fast, and Malaysia knocked her out so fast. And she was like, oh, wow, like this girl, she's unbullyable is the word. Okay. So yeah, so they did all of that with Drea, and they all bullied her collectively. And it was the bullying got to a point where I don't know why production didn't stop this. Drea got her boobs done, right? And getting your boobs done is a pretty easy surgery. You heal in like a week or two, and you still feel a little bit of the pain and stuff. So Drea got her boobs done, and on this episode, they went to a boxing match. They went to a boxing match where it's fun. Like, you get to box with your friend, you know? And they put they put Drea in the ring with Laura, Laura was very jealous of Drea. Laura was, you know, probably 15 years older than Drea, I think. Tougher, more masculine, not the good kind, not the healthy kind for discipline. She was more masculine, more aggressive. And Laura was excited to get in the ring with Drea because she knew she wasn't gonna do it in a light, fun, play way. She genuinely was like, oh, wow, I'm jealous of her. I'll finally get to beat her up and act like I was just following instructions, right? So she get in the ring with Drea, and Drea said, okay, please be careful, though. Don't be too rough, because I just got my boobs done, and I don't want you to hit me in my boobs. So please just be careful. Drea told Laura that. When they got in the fight, because Drea's small. Drea's like, what, 5'1". She weighs like 115 pounds. She's a tiny girl. She's like a Barbie doll. And I could tell Laura purposefully beat her up on they beat her up. She beat her up and made it seem like she was just playing the game, but she beat her up very badly. And this girl already told you that she had surgery. And Drea was kind of in shock because she thought, wow, that fight actually felt serious. Like, it felt real. Like, I didn't know this girl had a problem with me. She felt in her intuition that it was real. Beautiful women are not supposed to play with women like that. Like, you're not supposed to allow them to infiltrate your space in that way. And that happened, and it was very bad. It was so embarrassing or whatever. But what I like to use as an example of the opposite of Drea was Evelyn. Evelyn got on that show. She's like, what do I call my videos? Beautiful Women Trust No One. Evelyn took Beautiful Women Trust No One to a whole other level. Evelyn took it to such a high other level that Evelyn was like, I'm the bully. I'm going to bully everyone that comes on the show. And Evelyn's a stunner. But she took Beautiful Women Trust No One to a whole other level. She bullied and intimidated every castmate so that they know not to mess with her. That's how Evelyn came in. She already pre-bullied everyone. She already bullied and intimidated the whole castmate so that they know, I'm not one of those pretty girls that you're going to target. So I'm going to just bully you first so that you know that I'm really about it. Do I agree with that? No. But I can tell that she did those things as a safety measure, because there are certain types of beauty that you have where women, they're going to try it. And Evelyn already, it's not that Evelyn stayed away or defended herself. She came in there bullying the women, like already not bullying, but she already intimidated them from early on, so that they kind of already, and it's true. No, not many women ever tested Evelyn. Not many women ever tested her. They didn't take the chance. They didn't take the chance because Evelyn is a beautiful woman. She's a stunner. Yeah, Tammy tried to intimidate Evelyn. It didn't work. Evelyn already knew about her beauty, her confidence, her lights, her her value. So she already, a few stood up to her, yes. A few did stay up to her, but no one ever really, well, Evelyn did meet her match with Jackie. Jackie's a Leo. Don't test those type of women. They don't like getting bullied and they will retaliate. But but again, Tammy stood up to Evelyn, but Evelyn was bullying Tammy though. She bullied and intimidated everyone on that show. She was the initiator. So Tammy didn't go in there like, oh, I'm gonna target Evelyn. She wanted to be friends with Evelyn because she saw that Evelyn was unbullyable. So you're better off being friends with the person that's unbullyable than attempting to bully them. But Evelyn bullied her anyways. And Evelyn bullied Royce, and she bullied Malaysia too. Like, she came in there like, I will not be dethroned. And she came in there like, I will not be targeted, challenged, dismantled, disrespected, bullied. Like, she came in there, I don't know, her mom did a good job with because Evelyn didn't come in there looking for people's approval. And even when they brought up her past of the men that she slept with and the men that she used to mess with, even when they brought up her past, she didn't let it bother her. She's like, yeah, I slept with those men. I did it and I liked it. So what about it? Like, they couldn't weaponize anything against her. And that is a great example of how beautiful women should go into the world with not allowing anyone to think that they are going to take your power away. OG Ocho Cinco wanted me. When it comes to OG, I think that, okay, I'm going to go there. Because you guys know I'm a truth teller. I think that OG was angry that Evelyn was declining her friendship advances. OG wanted to be friends with Evelyn. Evelyn was not interested. So she turned around and tried to kind of nitpick at her and create a problem with her. Okay, it's just like high school. That one cheerleader that's very beautiful and popular and has straight A's, and she's dating the top, tall, sexy, handsome football player, and a lot of women want to be her friend, but when she rejects the friendship, they try to beat her up in the locker room. Like, I think that that's what happened with OG. OG didn't like the fact that Evelyn was not interested in her friendship advances. And what I liked about Evelyn on that show is, and this is also another important thing that beautiful women should think about. Another thing that I liked about Evelyn on that show was the fact that Evelyn was very adamant about the type of person she would be friends with. And I love that about her. Like, she picked and chose. Evelyn picked and choose who her friends would be. And a lot of people don't like when beautiful women pick and choose. They want you to validate them and be open to their advances. So they don't like it when you pick and choose what your experience will be. So it's just like when Royce got on the show. Evelyn was like, oh, she's a cute girl, but I definitely don't see us being friends. When she met Tammy, she said, oh, she seems like a funny chick, but I definitely don't see us being friends. Like, there are so many, if you watch the whole show throughout all the seasons, you will see 10 to 15 instances where Evelyn's like, I don't see us being friends. Like, she picked and chose the type of women that she wanted to build close bonds with. And a lot of the women, they retaliated because of her lack of acceptance of them. They retaliated and then wanted to create a rivalry with her, either a rivalry with her or they wanted to gain her approval. So Evelyn was, as a beautiful woman, all the gaslighting that women would try to do, like what they did to Drea, that didn't work with Evelyn. because Evelyn already knew from the get-go that I have to be this way in order to not be challenged. Exactly. That's why Jen and Evelyn were a great pair. It's not that Evelyn was judgmental. And you see, that is the kind of mentality that women have that I'm trying to debunk. Why is someone judgmental? Because they have a specific type of criteria that they look for in a girlfriend. And if you don't fit that criteria, they don't want to pursue a friendship with you. How is that judgmental? People are allowed to pick and choose. That's why I always have a problem with women in the workplace. They feel like women don't have the right to decline your advances or to decline your desire for a friendship with them. That's not judgmental. She's like, I'm this type of woman. This is my style. These are the type of women I rock with. You don't fit that. So we can be cool, but I'm not going to pursue some long-term intimate friendship with you. Why was that a problem? The same way women can decline certain men, they can decline certain women as friends. That's not judgmental. Evelyn thought Royce was tacky, including Tammy. Exactly. That didn't fit. Evelyn was like the bougie Puerto Rican Latina, designer wearing, upper echelon. Let's go to a gala. Let's fly to Tahiti. Let's go get our boobs done. I'm dating this billionaire kind of chick. So when someone like that goes and becomes friends with a woman that does not share those mentalities, she is now going to be a victim of jealousy. She's on game. She already knows how friendship with women works. She's already clear on that. So why is she going to waste her time when eventually that the women that she labeled tacky are going to turn around and try to be jealous of her or destroy her? Some beautiful women, they already know how it goes. Exactly. Exactly, Queen Fowl. They will try to bring you down to their level. Exactly. So why go through that when you can just skip all of that? That's not judgmental. I don't see us being friends. I don't feel like we have anything in common. That doesn't mean that I hate you. That doesn't mean that I think you have no value. You just don't fit my criteria for a friend. Evelyn had no right to act that way. She was insecure and jealous. I disagree. Royce was better. You really think Evelyn was jealous of Royce? Are you going to tell yourself that? If that's what you have to tell yourself, honey, tell yourself that. Oh, I don't think Evelyn was jealous of Royce at all. I don't think Evelyn was jealous of anyone on that show. I think they were jealous of her. But I think the women were jealous of her, but they couldn't attack her because they know that she doesn't play games. So it's either, this is how most women think when they're in the presence of beautiful women. Most women are black and white. Women are very predictable. Most women are going to do two things when they meet a beautiful woman. Two things. Are you guys ready for this? It's either they are going to try to attack, bully, or dismantle her. But if she's not the one to play with, they're going to try to gain her approval. There's no in between. It'll either be they're going to try to attack you, but when you're not going for it, and they see that that's going to be a challenge to try and do that because there's a chance that you will retaliate, they're going to go to the other side of the extreme where, oh, well, let me try to be her friend. Let me try to get her to like me. Let me try to get her to approve of me. You guys have to learn the character traits of women. They're not that difficult to understand. Because if Evelyn was a passive person like Susie, or if Evelyn was a passive person like Drea, they would have tore her to shreds, and you know it. They would have tore her to shreds if she came in there all passive. They would have ruined her if she came in there that way. Evelyn is a known colorist. We're not talking about that. That's not what we're talking about. And this is another problem. I heard somebody on TikTok talk about this today. Why is it so difficult for women to stay on topic? I'm talking about beautiful women not trusting anyone and doing what's necessary to protect themselves amongst other women and in the real world. Why are we talking about colorists? If you can't stay on topic, it's not that no one wants to talk about that conversation. That's not what I'm talking about right now. You can't come on my platform and tell me what I need to speak about. That's those disrespectful, socially awkward behaviors that I'm talking about. I'm talking about a conversation. I came on here and got myself together to talk about a topic, and here you are, a woman on another woman's platform saying that I don't want to talk about a specific thing that I was not scheduled to talk about. You don't think that's disrespectful? And there is a consequence for that. We're not talking about her being a colorist. That's not what this is about. Okay, I know you may not be trying to be disrespectful, but stay on topic. Focus. Focus, ladies. Focus. Try to focus on one thing at a time. We are talking about beautiful women and the steps that they need to take to protect themselves from the world and what other men and women will try to do to them. That is what we're discussing right now. Okay? So, you can see, even when Evelyn got on the show, I think she developed that hardness because she was bullied and had enough. Yes. But there's another side to her. Yes. She's had enough. I had this conversation on one of my girl chats with this very sweet young girl, and she told me, well, how did you gain your confidence? How did you learn to be so tough? I said, well, I got tired of being abused by people and disrespected. So that's where this was born. This was birthed out of that. So, you have to get to a point where you have to protect yourself. That's really what it's about. Okay? Like, I don't even know if you guys know about this. This is what happened with Evelyn, but I hope you guys know that when she had her baby at 14, or some guy she was messing with was chasing her around with trying to take her life. Like, after a while of going through that with men, with people, you become an Evelyn. God has to do a lot of surgery on your heart as a beautiful woman to not become an Evelyn, because you're going to start to internalize all those aggressive things that you had to go through just because you were pretty. That wasn't fair. You internalize that and you turn into Evelyn. That's the result of that. And that was her way of protecting herself. Like, when Tammy walked into Evelyn's store thinking that she was going to intimidate Evelyn in her store, and Evelyn grabbed that paper from her and tore it in half and was ready to throw hands, Tammy didn't know what to do. Because people are so used to intimidating beautiful women that when they cannot do that, they're flabbergasted by it. That's why you guys will watch the show. You'll notice that Drea on season 5 and 6 of Basketball Wives LA was very different from the season 1 Drea. Drea was like, I don't care. I don't want to hear this. This is beneath me. I don't have time for this. Oh, you're mad? Okay, whatever. Who cares? Stay mad. Like, she stopped proving herself to all of them on that show, and they hated it. Because society wants the beautiful woman's approval. And when you stop, no, society wants the beautiful woman to want their approval. And when you don't, it's offensive to them. That's like when Drea went to Brandy's event, and Brandy was like, oh, why are you here? Why are you here? She's like, well, this is an event for cancer. So yeah, I wanted to come and support. Oh, well, why are you here? She's like, okay, well, then if you don't want me here, then I'm going to leave. She said, good. She said, okay, bye. And Brandy was angry because she wanted Drea to apologize, and she wanted Drea to kiss her butt so badly. They do this to beautiful women all the time. So when Drea finally reached the point where she didn't care to kiss anyone's butt on that show, it was a very difficult thing for the women to digest. Like, when Megan got on the show and Drea started bullying Megan, Drea turned into the bully. And eventually, beautiful women have to be careful because the world will turn you into the bully. Malaysia, I didn't really pay attention to her too much on that show. Season 1, she was very quiet, and that's another thing that they do to beautiful women. If you're quiet and you're to yourself, they will tell you that you think you're better than everyone. So that's the whole reason why Laura and Malaysia got into the fist fight, because Laura was telling Malaysia, well, is that even your real name? Nobody knows anything about you. You don't open up to anyone about anything. You think you're better than everyone, because in a woman's mind, let's get back to this. In a woman's, for women, the population of women believe, no, not that. I've lost my train of thought. A lot of women don't have street smarts, right? So they think the world is kind. So because they think the world is kind, they meet other women and start opening up to that woman right away without even knowing them. So when they meet a woman who is taking their time to get to know you before they open up to you, women find that as an insult. So Malaysia did nothing wrong. She just got on the show. She was just getting to know the girls. She was the youngest one at that point before Drea came on in the season after that. Malaysia was like, okay, I'm new to the show. I'm getting to know the girls one by one. I don't know them that well yet, but let me take my time so I don't build the wrong type of connections. But the women had a problem with the fact that she didn't open up and kiss up to them immediately. So in that scene, Laura just started bullying Malaysia, saying, oh, is that your real name? Is that this? Is that that? Is that this? And because Malaysia is so to herself, and because Malaysia is so soft-spoken, they didn't know that Malaysia will tear your head off. They didn't know that. They were testing her. And when you're a beautiful woman, people are going to test you slightly to see if you are going to respond to that test or if they will be able to bully you as they please. That's what they did to Drea. So when she tested Malaysia, Malaysia was like, hold up, is she trying to call me out right now? Like, you could see Malaysia was getting confused because she was automatically going into, okay, do I attack or do I stand back? But once you realize that someone is coming for your safety, you cannot allow them to feel like that will be acceptable. So when Laura tried to like snatch her, Malaysia got up, went around the table and knocked her out. And Laura wasn't expecting that, because people like to get away with bullying beautiful women. And they usually do, because a lot of beautiful women, they think if I'm nicer or if I try to find their validation or if I'm extra sweet, they will like me, not knowing that that's just going to make it worse. That's just going to make it worse. It's just going to make it worse. It's the same thing with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. When Portia got on the show, they thought they were going to bully her. They were jealous that she's beautiful. She was married to a ball player at that time in this big house. She came from a wonderful family. Her mother and father were very present in her life. She was just the and like her parents, well, her family lineage was like into the government, and like apparently she's related to Martin Luther King or something like that. So you could see, oh my God, there was this scene. I wish I could find it. There was this scene where Kenya and Portia went out to have ice cream, right? And I think Portia was very ditzy when she first got on the show. And she was talking about something she was excited about. And Kenya's face literally shifted into like a demon for like 5 seconds. They literally caught it on camera. Like the demonic spirit of jealousy immediately attacked Kenya while she was on that page. And she was doing the evil eye glare at Portia. And from that episode on, she was continuously trying to target Portia. Nonstop. Portia never came for Kenya. From the time Portia got on that show, Kenya wanted her head. But then when Portia snatched her up on the reunion, Kenya was like, oh, Like I can't bully her. Like it's not working. So then she started easing off of her. Yes, both are beautiful, Taylor, but beauty does not mean confidence, though. Beauty does not mean confidence. And that's where a lot of women mess up. There's a woman that asked me a question. She said, if I'm a beautiful woman and another woman is a beautiful woman, why does she not like me? Oh, baby, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. No. When it comes to people and their insecurities, in particular women, when it comes to women and their insecurities, women are jealous of their own shadows. They compare everything. Is her mother in her life? Is her father in her life? Did she go to college? Wait, I didn't go to college. Wait a minute. She has long hair. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, she has a good heart. Wait a minute. She's an entrepreneur, but I'm not an entrepreneur. They compare everything. Even down to if you grew up in a better neighborhood than them, they will not like you for that. Women compare. If you have straighter teeth than them, that will be a problem. Like if you have a healthy relationship with your husband, some women don't like other women because their daughter has bad behavior and your daughter behaves well and she doesn't like you because of it. Like their insecurities are so deep rooted that when you understand that, you're not going to be interested in friendships with other women. You're going to see it as a waste of time because the friendship is only going to last if you and her are on the same level. If you're not on the same level, the friendship is going to terminate. Friendships between women only last if you're on the same level. If you surpass them, it won't last anymore. That's why I don't spend my time on them. Because I'm always going to be succeeding. I'm always going to be progressing. I'm always going to be moving up the ladder. And I'm not going to not grow because you can't handle it. And when you're friends with women, it only works if you guys are on the same level. Once you surpass them, the friendship's going to get funny. You can ignore it and let them act weird, but it's never going to be the same. It's only going to last if you and them are on the same level. The moment you surpass them, the friendship will be terminated. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm eating a pickle, Toshi. Yeah. I tell you guys, I'm always going to tell the harsh truths. Friendships with women will only work if you're on the same level. If you surpass them in any way, it's going to get weird. It'll never be like how it was when you guys were on the same level. That's the only way it'll work. If you're a woman that you're constantly progressing, you're constantly ascending, you're constantly doing better in life, those friendships are always going to be short-lived. That's why I don't spend my time on them. I do associates. That's how I like my interactions with most women. It has to be associates. It can't be something where I'm talking to you on the phone every day. I'm constantly updating you on my progress. You're over at my house. If I get a new car, it's a problem. If I get the front lawn renovated, it's a problem. If I get a pool installed, they compare everything. If you lose 5 or 10 pounds and they notice it, it's a problem. Like it's competition in all categories. In all categories. And when women accept the truth about this, you're not going to care. You are going to be perfectly fine with having women as your associate only. You're going to be comfortable with that. Okay? It's sad, but it's true. You have to be on the same level as them. You cannot outshine them. You could have a boss who hired you and she, you always come to work, no makeup, glasses on, hair in a messy bun, loose slacks, a sweater. But the minute you come in one day and your makeup is done and your hair is done and you got your nails done and you feel good about yourself that day, your boss is going to start giving you a hard time. Because she looked at you and then she looked at her and she's like, but wait, you look better than me. And that once that thought comes into her head, it's done. You might as well start looking for another job. That's how easily they're triggered, and that's how easily they get insecure. It's very easy. It's very easy. And this is the reality that people don't want to understand. A woman has to be very ascended, very strong, and a woman has to be very truly confident and truly have God in her heart in order for any friendship to work. Like, for example, I was talking about Beyonce and Kelly. I know Beyonce, I mean, Kelly's a real friend to Beyonce because it's not everybody can be friends with Beyonce. She's a stunner. She's talented. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's on top of it. She's educated. It's so easy to feel outshined. The fact that Kelly has been friends with her for years and they've never fell off and they call each other sisters. I know Kelly's a confident woman and props to her because not many people can be friends with a Beyonce. And a lot of you guys, you're the Beyonce. And not many people can handle that. Yes, Kelly is beautiful and talented as well, but she's not as beautiful or as talented as Beyonce. And I'm not comparing them, but I know people like to throw that out. Beyonce's like, she's a mogul. Like, she's at the top of every list. Like, it's difficult for a woman to not compare. And the fact that Kelly, is her sister, literally. You don't ever hear anything in the tabloids about them beefing. Kelly has never aired her business out or dropped her business to paparazzi. You've never heard anything. Your eyes see so much. You seem to have superpowers because you say nothing but the truth. Your eyes of understanding are so open wide. You know these things. Keep being powerful. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I have been able to see the truth and reality and the truth of life since I was a little girl. That's why I suffered a lot as a child with depression. And I wasn't depressed because something was particularly making me depressed. It was because I understood the world and how it works and how people are and how rare true friendship and true love and all that stuff is. So that's why I would suffer with depression all the time, because I saw the truth of the world. That's why the quote says ignorance is bliss, because if you're ignorant, life is easy for you. But if you truly see life for what it is, you probably will develop depression because you will realize the realities of your situation. Nobody said that her being light skinned makes her more attractive. You guys keep trying to bring colorism into this chat. I'm not a colorist, okay? My mother is probably 5 shades lighter than me. My father is like 10 shades darker than me, and my grandmother is a dark woman from the island. So don't bring that up in here. That's another thing they like to do to lighter tone beautiful women is accuse them of colorism to try to break them down as well. I am not a colorist, okay? My brother is as dark as dark chocolate. Okay? So don't even go there. Yes. So the reality is that you have to, like, I love the fact that I love their friendship. And I love that they've never fallen off. I love that they've been able to stay friends for so long, and their friendship is so balanced. Like, you could tell that they genuinely have this love for each other. They don't outshine each other. They don't try to, like, it's so beautiful. I love it. I love their friendship. And I love that she doesn't allow Beyonce's fame or money or beauty or awards or Grammys or anything to make her feel like I have to turn into Beyonce's opponent. Because a lot of beautiful women, they're sweet and they're kind and they have good hearts. People make them ugly. People turn them into a Evelyn. And some of them are actually really sweet, but people prejudge them and they don't get to know them. And the fact that she gave Beyonce that chance and she stood by her regardless of whatever has happened, that's beautiful. Kelly is very confident. She's a very, 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 very confident woman, because not anyone can be Beyonce's friend. And that reminds me, when I had that one friend that I told you guys, she literally looks like Serena Vanderwoods and Blake Lively. When I was friends with her and I went to her mom's house, to her parents' house, her mom was like in the kitchen and like making me food and baking me cake and lipstick on my chin, lipstick on your chin, beautiful. Let me go ahead and block this person. I mean, that's the thing. People think that they can come in your space and bring sarcasm, bring disrespect. I mean, they're so comfortable with it, not understanding that disrespect does not have to be tolerated. All right. So I may have to get up and put some powder. I don't think it looks that bad. It's been it hasn't been hot in Florida, but it's been um like no sun. It's been dry. So my skin has just been peeling and stuff. Um thank you. Thank you. So so I went to her house, and when I pulled up to her house, it was like a 5-story mansion. Like it was like I could fit five at that time. I could fit five of my parents' home in her home. Like it was like 5 stories. Like she lived in this high class neighborhood. Like her father, I guess, sells oil or whatever. And when I went there, I'm like, oh my God, her house is so pretty. So when I pulled into the driveway, she came downstairs to get me, and I met her mom, and I'm like, oh my God, your house is so pretty. And I brought her mother a like flowers, because anytime I'm going to someone's home, a friend's home, or someone invites me to their home and I know their mom or their parents are going to be there, I always bring flowers. I kind of feel like, when you're going to go to someone's home, it's respectful. You should never show up to anyone's home empty handed. So I brought her some flowers. And her mom was like, oh my God, come in, come in, come in. And her mom was like whipping stuff up in the kitchen for me to eat. And her mom was like baking cakes and doing all this. And I found it kind of odd, not in a bad way, but I'm like, why is she like doing all of this for me? And then so my friend, when she went up to the bathroom or something, her mom pulled me to the side. She's like, I am so happy that my daughter finally has a friend. And I was like, oh my God, what do you mean? She's like, she's never been able to have a friend before. She's never been able to hold friends. But you were like the first friend where it's like, we actually trust you with our daughter. Because we always have a fear when our daughter makes a friend that they're going to harm her. But you are like, you just have this trustworthy spirit about you. Our daughter has never been able to keep friends, right? Our daughter has never been able to keep friends. So of course her daughter can keep friends. She looks like Serena Vanderwoodson, and she's rich. So that girl was driving like a BMW sports car at like 21, and she had 3 of them. Her dad bought her 3 in different colors. Not many people can handle that. So yeah, it just like, I'm a confident person, so I didn't start viewing her as my competition. I didn't start viewing her as my rival. I didn't start viewing her as someone that I had to destroy because she comes from a wealthier family than mine, or because of her parents are rich or what. Like, I didn't see it that way. But most women don't see it that way, right? So again, you have to be a very confident woman to be in the presence of a woman that has surpassed you in whatever area, whether it's beauty, whether it's money, whether it's whatever, and to not weaponize that against them and to not treat them badly because of that is a sign of confidence. So her mom was very protective of her, and I get it, because this is the friend that I told you guys every time we would go out. This is the sad friend that I told you guys every time we would go out, I'm like almost getting into a fight, or we're almost getting into a fight because everywhere we go, people are trying to attack her. This is that friend that I'm talking about. Going out with her was, oh my God, I used to have to pray, please, can we just go to this bar and not deal with nonsense? It was very difficult. And I started to feel bad for her, because there was a time that we went to New York. Me and her, we took a New York trip. And when we got to New York, her uncles are They own all the salons located in Manhattan City. So she comes from a very wealthy family. So her uncles, they came, they picked us up. We went out to dinner. We went out to eat. We went to rooftops, all that stuff. So it was Christmas. And her uncles were talking about her aunts. And she's like, oh, are you talking about Aunt so-and-so? And her uncles were like, yeah, she's having a dinner tomorrow. And she's like, oh my God, are we going? Like, I haven't seen her since I was like 5. Are we going? And they're like, uh, no, we're not going. And my friend is like, why? I wanted me and Mel to go. Like, we want to just do as much as we can. And he's like, we were going to take you and Mel, but when she found out that you were coming, she doesn't want you to be there because she's going to have other guests there and she doesn't want you to outshine her. And I saw my friend's face drop. This was her aunt, 35 years her senior, that said that you are not allowed to come to my Christmas gala because I don't want you stealing the attention. And it was I told you they're wealthy. So it was a gala at like some big hall. Like we both literally packed our gowns because in our minds, we thought we were going to this. Yeah. And then when I saw that, it kind of just hit me. I was like, that's why she's the way she is. That's why she's so distant. That's why she's so weird. Not weird in like a strange way, but that girl, the friendship ended because she just doesn't speak to anyone. Not to me, not to her. She doesn't speak to anyone. She just disappeared off the face of the earth. She doesn't speak to anyone. No one. No posts, no new Instagram posts, no new Facebook post. No, I mean, she has disappeared for the last 4 years. Nothing. Nothing. She's just given up on everything. And I'm like, I get it. I get it. And it's so weird because at that time, I used to think that that wasn't the answer. And then 5 years later, I'm the same way. Because I get it too now. It's safer that way. It's safer that way. Is she married? I don't know. I told you guys, she hasn't posted anything in 5 years. I have no idea. No updates, nothing. I don't know. I hope she's still alive, though. I haven't seen anything. I have no idea. So, no, we don't. I told you she stopped talking to everyone. She doesn't speak to anyone. She doesn't speak to anyone. And she, again, it was awful. It was awful, like her aunt. And I get it because I've had aunts do stuff like that to me. I remember when I went to my aunt, I went to New York in 2000, I forgot what year it was. I think it was like 2017 or I don't remember what year it was. And I went to New York and I saw an aunt. I went to my uncle's Thanksgiving and I saw an aunt there that I haven't seen since I was like 5. So I was actually so excited to see her. And when I walked in the room, like full face of makeup and everything, because it was a holiday party, when I walked in the room and she was looking down at her phone and I'm like, oh my God, hi auntie, how are you? I haven't seen you since I was 5. So I like I do a cute little skip to her to go to her and give her a hug. And she looks at me like, and I hug her and it was like awkward. And she didn't speak to me for the rest of the night. And I'm like, huh? And as I got older, I know how the world works now. That's why I don't speak to anyone. The new me would never run up to anyone and skip to anyone and say, how you doing? If you want to talk to me, you can come over here and say hi. I'm not going to you. I'm not getting off my seat. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to have my pumpkin pie. And if you want to have a conversation with me, you can come over here. I'm not getting up. I've completely just changed the trajectory of how I approach people. when I realized what they do to beautiful women and how they truly want to break your spirit. So if she wants to speak to me, she can. When I go to an event, my family, they come to me. I don't even go to events anymore because I don't speak to my family. But I don't, I remember that 3 years ago, my parents hosted a Christmas party here. And it was a bunch of my uncles, a bunch of my cousins, a bunch of my aunts. This is before I cut everybody off. And literally the whole party, I was inside. Everybody was outside on the couch, like grilling. And it was at night, like having eggnog, dancing, all this stuff. And I was inside on my parents' couch with a glass of champagne on my phone. I was the only one standing in the house, sitting in the house. Everybody was outside. Was I sad? No, I just didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to interact with anyone. I didn't want to have small talk with anyone. I was just sitting there chilling. I was on my phone. This was years ago, and I was dating a guy that I really, really liked. So we were just texting and like sending each other memes. And I was friends with her at this time too. So me and her were texting and FaceTiming, and I was chilling inside. And in that moment, when all of my family was outside and I was the only one inside on the couch, and I enjoyed being away from them, in that moment, I realized I don't like these people. And that's when it set in. It hit me like a can of bricks. I was like, I don't like these people. The fact that I'd rather be in here by myself, sipping champagne and scrolling and texting my friends and this guy instead of being out there interacting with them, I don't like them. And you're right, exactly, Candle Knees. I don't like them and I don't need them. And it kind of just hit me. It just hit me. It just hit me. It was like a download. I was like, I don't like these people. Like I feel safer alone than with them. And once you reach that point as a woman or a man in a toxic family, there's no moving forward after that. Like when you reach that point where you're like, I rather be here indoors, like there's a party going on outside, and I'm in the house in my mom's living room, in my parents' living room, with a glass of champagne with my feet up, scrolling and laughing and enjoying being on my phone than being out there with them. That's crazy. Like, that's wild. That's wild. And in that moment, I realized, one, okay, I'm the starseed. Two, I realized these connections are not going to last very long. I was like, this isn't going to last very long because spiritually, I'm already disconnected from them. Like physically, I'm still here, but spiritually, I'm already like separated from them. And I allowed that to fester. I allowed myself to feel that. I allowed myself to let that sink in, and I made peace with that. I have no regrets. I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. I feel like I'm happy, and I don't feel bad about it. I feel like I feel amazing that those connections are no longer there. I do. And I don't know, it's weird for me because I actually like being alone. That's the thing. Like, people will meet me and they don't get it. Like, I remember years ago, I was working this corporate job and I would never come out of my office, like ever. Like, I mean, and my office door didn't have glass, so they never thought I was in there. And there was a time I came out, and this guy that got hired on the same day I got hired, he's like, oh my God. I'm like, what? He's like, you still work here? I'm like, yes. He's like, did you like go on a vacation for a couple of months? I'm like, no, I'm here every day. He's like, you're lying. I'm like, I'm here every day. He's like, I've never seen you once. I'm like, well, because I'm in my office. I'm working. He's like, well, do you have lunch in there? I'm like, yeah. So you don't ever have it in the lunchroom? I'm like, no. And it's to the point where in my office with the door closed and I never came out for so long that they tried to gaslight my boss, who was in another state at the time. They tried to gaslight her into believing that I wasn't doing my work. But then when she would check the files, she would tell them, not only is Mel doing her work, she is actually turning in files 2 times quicker than every past employee we've ever had. That pissed the women in the office off even more, because they don't have access to me because I'm locked in my office. So what's the next thing to do? Well, let's accuse her of not working. Kind of like to make it seem like I'm in my office watching Netflix. But then when they ask my boss and she says she actually does the turnover quickly, that angered them even more. So then that's why they kept bothering me to the point where I just quit, because they just didn't want to leave me alone. So beautiful women have this thing where people have an obsessive interest in you and an obsessive interest in your life. That's like a couple days ago when my mom started coming on my live, I literally had to go on her TikTok. I went on my mom's TikTok. When I saw her that day, I went on her TikTok. I grabbed her phone and I changed her name on TikTok, because before it was her first name and her last name. And I'm like, I'm a public figure. I don't need anybody trying to track down my family, trying to track down where I live. So I had to give her a TikTok nickname and make sure that her real name was not under anything, because I know what people do to beautiful women. And I know the extents that they will go to see you cry, to see you hurt, and to see you in pain. And I'm always going to be 15 steps ahead of that, especially when it comes to my family. I don't play games when it comes to my family and their safety. So I had to go on and change everything, because I know what people are capable of, because I've been through it. They will be like, oh, wait, that's her mother's full name? Okay, let me put that in on Google. Now they see address history. Now they see work history. Now they can pull up my full name. Now with my full name, they can pull up my businesses. And then it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until you have a wild person that wants your life running loose. No, the only people in my family I speak to are my parents and my brother. I don't speak to extended family, is what I mean. Aunts, uncles, cousins, I don't deal with that. Yeah. My brain, I'm telling you, my brain works that way. It's just because of the amount of trauma that I've been through. My brain always goes far. Like, cause I have to. Cause I have to. It's the way that my brain, it goes so far, because I know people will go far when it comes to a beautiful woman. So I have to always think in extremes. That's why I don't have any photos of my family, and I never will. No photos of my family, and I never will, because they don't have security. They're not walking around with security. And as God grows me and he grows my platform, I will make sure that they're walking around with security. Because some people are like, I can't get to her, I can't hurt her, but if I could hurt someone close to her, that will hurt her. That's how people get down, and I'm not going for it. So I don't post pictures of my family. I don't post pictures of who I'm with, no photos of children, nothing. As far as I'm concerned, everyone thinks it's just me. And I want it to stay that way. You can continue to think that, because I have to protect my family. Exactly, KJ. I was just talking about that in one of my videos, where I said I don't even post like where I go to do my nails. I don't post my lash tech. I don't post my brow tech. I don't post who does my hair. I don't post where I go to I don't post any of that, because there's going to be one weird, unhinged man or woman that is going to take that information and do research. Yes, Miss Cooks, I'm the same way. My Instagram is all me. My Instagram only has 2 photos. I haven't posted a photo on my Instagram since 2021. I have not posted a photo on Instagram since 2021. I don't know. I feel like Instagram is all monitoring spirits. I don't really like it that much. I love TikTok, love it, and I love YouTube because you feel the love, you know. But with Instagram, it's like people are watching you, like they're not liking or commenting or congratulating; they're just watching. Instagram is like, Instagram is all monitoring spirits, and they ruin the algorithm. So, candles. Yeah, I do have Instagram, but I don't use it. The only time I use Instagram is when I want like outfit inspo. Like when if some like my Instagram, I just have like you know how you can save photos to specific albums. My Instagram is only albums of like cooking recipes, cats and dogs because I love animals, animal videos, um, outfits, and like health and wellness pages and stuff. I don't use Instagram. Like I'm not scrolling. So when I go on Instagram, the people that I follow, I don't really see what they're doing because I'm not scrolling. Like I don't go down my timeline. I don't go through all the stories. I don't do any of that. Some of you guys who were with me from the start, like when I first got on YouTube, like before all this happened, before God poured his blessing on this platform, I follow some of you guys. And if I come across your story, I will watch it and I will like it or I will send heart eyes. Okay, I have a few OGs that I followed back like from like 2 or 3 years ago, but I don't like I love that's one thing that I want to get more into that I've never really been into is like more fashion. And I love like that chic look where like you know what I love? Okay, I created like a bunch of fashion boards. And the reason why I created a lot of fashion boards is because I want to start doing image consulting for you guys. Like I know a lot of women sometimes they're like, I want to change up my look. Like I want to change up my style and I want to, just gather different pieces of info so I can start doing image consulting for not just women, but also men. Because I think everybody has the potential to look good. I just, it's just your style. And I feel like a lot of people, I always tell people like experiment with your style. Like I always tell people you don't have to be one way. You are allowed to be multifaceted. You don't have to be one way. Like you're allowed to do many different things. You're allowed to dress up in many different ways. You're allowed to experiment, change your hair, change, your hair color. Like you're allowed to change your style. Like I always tell people you don't have to be one way. Like sooner or later, I may do a shortcut or I may start getting braids again. I think I'm going to get braids in January. Like you're allowed to switch up your style and switch up your look. You don't have to be one way. And I always tell people that. Society tells us the lie that we have to be one way. We don't need to be one way. So, what am I saying? So, I love that look where women are wearing like the pointy heels, like the pointy stiletto pumps. I love those with like high-waisted black slacks and a turtleneck with a nice thin chain and a bunch of thumb rings and maybe like some nice braids, long braids. Like I like that old school Janet Jackson, Sade with a little bit of chic and elegance look. Like I love that look. I don't really know how to explain it. It's like, I don't know. I just love that look. I love that look. So yeah, I only use Instagram for stuff like that. I'm not scrolling. I'm not looking at what people are doing. And it's so funny because, oh yeah, 2016 Beyonce. I love the way Solange dresses too. I really love her style. There's this, I wish I had my other phone so I could show you guys the boards that I have saved. The outfits are so cute. And everyone's different. Me personally, I don't like the showing of like a lot of cleavage or waistline or something that's super, super short. I think that I would only do that for like date night. You know, you can show just a little bit and have like a nice thin chain. And that's for your man, you know, when you put the sparkles on your chest or whatever, like a black dress, like that's cute. But I've never liked the like spandex, like lime green or highlighter yellow spandex dress where it's cut around the thigh area. It's just it's giving too much sex. I don't like that. I like that classy chic. Ooh, I see a little bit, but I wish I could see more. That's kind of the vibe that I go for as far as clothing. Um, I what was I saying? I forgot. Sorry. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm chilling. Like I'm at peace, I'm at ease. I'm just chilling. Like I went through everything that I went through and it's over and I am who I am now and I actually like who I am now. I feel like I do a pretty good job at keeping myself safe from the world and what they will try to do to beautiful women. I like the way I am. I'm not apologizing for it. Um, I don't allow anyone to guilt me or guilt trip me into feeling like, oh well, you need to be more open or you need to be more this or you need to be more that. Like I don't allow people to gaslight me into putting my guard down. I like the way that I am and my life has been so peaceful the last year because I know what I know and I don't let anything negative start because I'm so secure in my boundaries and I'm so secure in the lessons that I've learned. Like no one can make me feel bad. Like the worst thing someone can tell me is you need to open up more. I'm like, why do I need to open up to you? Open up to you about what? If someone's not opening up to you, it's because they don't want to. You don't need to tell them that they need. People don't need to do anything besides be themselves and create a wonderful life for themselves. Okay. As far as Instagram, the DM slides, honestly, I am so private. I am so private and so consumed with being at peace and being at ease that even on Instagram, when men try to get my attention on there, they literally add me to their private stories because they know their stuff is not going to get opened. So they have to add me to their private stories and hope that I open it because I don't care. Like I'm not keeping up with what's going on with people online, people that I haven't seen in years. You know what I mean? Like that literally happened to me. Like maybe you guys can tell me what you guys think about this. That actually happened to me maybe like 2.5 years ago, where this guy, I've actually followed him first on Instagram because I liked his aesthetic and his style. And I knew that eventually I wanted to do image consulting. So I started following different pages of like men who like wear suits or the chic looks, like both, like all men, black men, white men, Latin men. I started following these pages because I was creating my board because I wanted to get the different styles that men wear. Like when it comes to women, I understand their styles. Like some women are chic, some women are sexy, some women are a little bit more on the edgy side. So I was like, okay, I want to understand men's style a little bit. So if I ever came across a guy's profile who dresses very nice and who has an aesthetic or a wardrobe that looks cool, I would follow them. And I followed this guy, and then like he didn't follow me back, but then like 3 days later, I'm on his private story, and I'm like, why am I on your private story? That's strange. Like I would never add someone to my private Instagram stories if I don't know them. Because again, it's a private story. So you're not following me, but then you add me to your private story. So clearly you have been looking at my page because people don't just add random people that they're not even following back to their private story. So there will be weird discrepancies, weird things like that. I don't know, like I think men are so weird sometimes. So I don't even know why he did that. But when I saw the green bubble, I'm like, why am I seeing someone's private life that I'm not really friends with? Um, this person is not a celeb. This person was not a celeb. Um, I just thought that, and that's what I'm saying. That's the thing with social media. Social media is an intrusive space. No, I wouldn't say he was monitoring because this person at that time, he added me to his private story. Um, I just thought that that was, I don't know. I thought and at that time, I thought that that was weird. Um, I don't know why I would be added to his private story unless he wanted me at that time to see what he was doing, or, and then it doesn't leave a paper trail. What do you mean, KJ? Yeah, I mean, Instagram is a weird uh, social space to be in. It's like I had a private story at one point and then I deleted it because I was like, I don't want to talk to any of these people. Like, why am I like, so I deleted that. I'm on certain people's private stories, but I never watch them. Maybe if he saw you viewed it, it would give him an ego boost. Yeah, I mean, it could be that too. I mean, when I saw the private story, he was trying to hide who he follows from others' eyes and keep eyes on you. What do you mean by that? Life's fun. That's interesting. He was trying to hide who he follows from other eyes and keep eyes on you. Interesting. Comparing and competing with you, maybe? Nah. This guy, no, there's not really anything to compare anything to. My Instagram at that time looks just like how it looks right now. 2 photos. I haven't posted a photo since 2021. Did you unfollow? No, I didn't, because I like this person's style. They didn't do anything mean to me, so I don't see any reason why I would do that. He probably expected you to open up to him the way he did to you. He never opened up to me. He just, at that time, he just added me on his private story. He liked you. I don't know this person. I told you. Okay, let me say this, what happened at that time again. I always had the ideal of image consulting since 2 years ago when I first started YouTube. Because I can look at someone and automatically know what to put on them to make them feel confident. I like everyone to feel confident, no matter your color, your skin tone, your size, your race. I want everyone to develop a sense of style where you can feel comfortable within yourself. So I said, I know women's style, but I don't know men's styles. Like some men, like what are the categories for men in their wardrobe? Like, do they have chic? Do they have boho? I wasn't sure. So in order for me to consult with men, I was like, let me go through Instagram. And if I ever come across an Instagram profile where the guy on the profile has an interesting sense of style, I will follow and add that to my board so I can use that to gather data. So I followed him to add him to the board, and I followed him. He never followed me back, but I woke up one day on his private story. Like, he added me on it. And I'm like, okay, that's the thing with Instagram. That's the thing with Instagram is it's weird, like, it's very weird, and you have to be very, very careful about that. So I kind of just ignored it. I thought it was odd at that time. And it's so crazy because a lot of times in the past, when I was still dating and stuff like that, it's 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 surprising the things that men think it's surprising to me the things that men thought would impress me. The things that they thought would impress me didn't impress me, and it bruised their ego. a lot, because if you think that you're going to just like flash money or just show your watch and things like that, and that's impressive to me, you're highly mistaken. Um, a lot of men nowadays use money as a tool to get a woman to let her guard down, right? So they will flash how much money they have, and they will flash what car they drive, and they will flash all these things, and they think that as a woman that's gonna like impress you. And yes, it's important for a man to be a provider and all that stuff, but you also need to be a decent human being and not a narcissist. Okay. And I'm always, scanning people for traits of narcissism, and using beautiful women as an ego boost and all the stuff that people do. I'm just very protective of myself. So because I'm so protective of myself, I don't really, I don't really, I'm not easily accessible unless I'm working on my brand. I'm not easily accessible. I don't think so. There are mean broke people. There are mean rich people. There are nice broke people. There are nice rich people. I don't believe in that. There are some men who are broke and who are vicious. So that's not, you can't automatically assume that because a man is wealthy that he's a narcissist or he's dangerous because of that. No. There are good rich people, there are bad rich people. There are good broke people, there are bad broke people. Like, I don't think in extremes like that. Those things are not yours, they're his. What does that mean? What are you implying? Like, I don't get it. A guy also showed me his bank account. I looked away. Yeah, I don't like that. That stuff is very lame to me. Like, leading with that, or it's a turn off, because I kind of feel like if a man leads with his money first, it's because his personality is awful. If they lead with their money first, that's a red flag. Because they should just be leading with their character and how much they want to, you know, they should be leading with their character and how much they want to, fancy you and make you feel beautiful and special. But if they're leading with their money, or they're trying to flash, an expensive watch, or they're trying to flash, a bank statement, that gets me turned off. You would never get a chance with me if you did that. That's your soul does not have enough depth to be with a woman like me if that's what you lead with. That's a turn off. That means that you don't really have much to you. I like, I'm gonna be, you're gonna look at me like I'm an alien, because when we talk, it's too much depth and you're too superficial. And I had a situation like that one time years ago. I went on a date with this guy years ago. Um, and again, when men meet a woman, especially when a woman is a beautiful woman, they assume that that just the money will be enough to impress you as a woman, not knowing that there's more to it. So I went on a date with this guy. This was years ago, and the first date was great. The vibe was there, it was beautiful. The second date was great until this person did something that I did not like. we were talking about guilty pleasures, and I said, "Oh, so what's one of your guilty pleasures?" He said, "You go first." I said, "My guilty pleasures is perfume. Like I will splurge on perfumes. I know that one day I'm going to have a closet specifically for perfume. I love perfumes. Love smelling good, love perfumes." And I said, "Well, what's your guilty pleasure?" He said, "Oh, my guilty pleasure is watches." I said, "Oh, cool." And he said, "Do you want to guess how much this watch is?" And again, I don't know anything about watches. So I'm like, maybe like what, $300? He's like, "Nope." I'm like, $500? He's like, "Nope." I'm like, $1,000? He's like, "Nope." I'm like, $2,000? He's like, "Nope." I'm like, "Well, how much?" He said, "Try 30. $30,000 watch. And I'm like, um, okay. Let me get this person off. Jealousy, 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 jealousy. Bye bye. Okay. So I could tell that this person thought that, and it gets bad. I probably should have said this because it's socially awkward. I was like, that is the dumbest investment. I didn't even realize that the words left my mouth. It was so socially awkward. Like I messed up. I was like, that is one of the dumbest investments. Oh my God, you are terrible with money. 30K on a watch. Like, I don't care if I'm worth $500 million. I'm not spending 30K on a watch. I will buy replica perfumes. I will pick up my penny when it falls on the floor. I'm not spending that on a watch. There are children who don't have food. 30K, I can feed a whole village with that. Y'all, I messed up. I was socially awkward. I made myself look crazy. 30K on a watch. I thought that was the dumbest. Like, it just showed, I don't know. I looked at him differently after he told me that. Not because I just, I just thought that was a dumb investment. Like, I don't know. What did he say all after his face fell to the floor? Like he was like his ego got bruised terribly. Like men who are successful are very, I've learned, well, I was much younger back then, but I've learned, that was years ago, but I've learned that men with money are very, very, very sensitive, and you have to continuously stroke their ego in order for the relationship to work. That man with money, you must stroke the ego, and if you can't stroke his ego, it's not going to work. Did he even make that much money? Yes, he made a lot of money. A lot. A lot. A lot. It's like, no, he's this guy at that time. He was making funds, honey. He's high caliber. It's just, you guys ever heard that term, old money and new money? I prefer old money. The new money, like I think when I go online and I see people flashing their watches, it's so cringe. When I see people posting their cars, cringe. When I see people posting bags of money, cringe. When I see people post a story of how much they spent on dinner that night, cringe. That stuff is just, it's cringe. I don't like any of that. I don't like any of that. I don't care if I live in a home on the hills, a $15 million house on the hills. I'm not posting a picture of my house. And I'm not posting how much my house costs or how much I bought it for. I'm going to be in the $15 million house with my family, you know, in front of the TV with popcorn and hot chocolate and loving on each other with candles lit everywhere. I don't know why people do things like that. That's like that's like narcissism. I don't that like, narcissists always want to show the world what they have. And it's just, people with old money don't post what they have. They don't post their cars or their watches. Like, women who are old money could have on a necklace that's worth $50,000 and you would never know, and they would never mention it either. They would never mention it. Like, I remember years ago when I was working this corporate job for an investment property firm, we had a holiday party and I left my car at the main office. This holiday party was at the other office 25 minutes away. So at the end of the holiday party, my boss, this white man, so kind, so sweet, he told one of the women there, do you mind dropping Mel to her car since you guys are going in the same direction? She said, yeah, absolutely. So I get in the car with her. We're laughing. We're talking. This woman is like in her 60s. And then I get in my car or whatever. And then I find out 3 weeks later that this woman makes like 50 million a year. And I was shocked because she was just driving a regular Range Rover. She never discussed her money while we were driving. There was no arrogance. Like, she was so kind, so sweet, so you would never think that this is someone who makes 50 million a year. And when I was looking at her pants, she just had on these slacks with this silk shirt, with this watch, and her hair was curled, and it was just so simple. And there was no tube or air, and none of it. And okay, let me get you off. Like that, like, why can't you guys just allow a Black woman to be beautiful? Why do you have to ask, is that your hair? Are you bleaching? Are those your eyes? Are those your real lashes? Why don't you just let a beautiful Black woman exist? Why do you always have to try to find a flaw? That's so annoying. That's why I don't like talking to people, because it's always trying to see in what way they can make a Black woman feel insecure. And the person asking me that, I'm sure, is a person from my same community. It usually always is, because they hate each other. Okay, blocked. Anyways, okay, I got issues. If I got issues, then why are you on here? Why are you on someone's live that you claim has issues? You shouldn't be here if you don't like me. Um, anyways, sorry y'all. I'm just some days I'm just not here for it. Anyways, she was so kind, and I was like, yeah, I don't like that new money, flashy, um, like, people who rub what they have in people's face. I don't like that. I don't think you should ever talk about your money. I don't think you should ever talk about what you have or use that as a way to make someone feel lower than you. Like, I don't like that. Like, those people that like give money to homeless people and they videotape them doing it? That is just, that's awful. That's awful. Like, for me, the way that I see money and the way that I see blessings is, the more God blesses me, the more humble I become, because the same way it's given, it can be taken away from you. And the person that you're laughing at can turn around and that you can be in their position. So the more God blesses me, I'm not going to say I have fear or I'm scared. The more God blesses me, the more cautious I become with my decisions to make sure that I'm not abusing the blessing, if that makes sense. Like I start looking at my life and I'm like, okay, God, like you bless me with this, you bless me with that, you help me with this, you help me with that. I don't want to disappoint you. Like I don't want to step into a place or a persona where I start feeling like I blessed myself, if that makes sense. Like I always want to keep God like on his throne. Like I never want to feel like I'm the God. Like I don't ever want to, I don't know if that makes sense. I just don't, I'm always checking myself. I'm always checking in with myself. And I'm like, okay, is your heart still humble before God? Like, you don't think that you're better than someone else because you have this, right? Like, you don't think that like, I'm always like checking in with myself to make sure that I'm not stepping into that narcissistic place that a lot of people step into, which is why I give God such a high percentage of my proceeds, because I just want him to remember that I know that every good thing that I have has come from you. And I want to make sure that I'm loyal to you before I'm loyal to anything or anyone else. So I just want to, you know, just not step into that narcissistic, dark, dangerous place that a lot of these celebrities step into, which is why they start removing people from the land of the living, because they have the power to do so, and now they abuse that power. And that's a place that many people can get into if they're not cautious. You know, when you start feeling like you're your own God, when you start feeling like you're your own God, and you start feeling like, oh, well, I got money, or I got power, or I got influence, or I can do whatever I want. When you step out of that place where God's no longer on top and you put yourself on top, that's how you end up like Diddy. You end up like Sean Combs. When you step into that place where you're like, you start to feel like all those good things that you have, you did that. Every good thing comes from God, whether you're a believer or not. So you should, but these people in the industry, when they start taking people out, sending hits out on people, it's because they stepped into that place where they're idolizing themselves. And I never want to get to that place. I'm telling y'all, the more God increases me and the more God provides me, the less and less people are going to see of me. I just want to be happy in my privacy and my peace and my own space and my own time. You will see less and less and less. If you see less of me, that means I'm doing good. And, enjoying God's blessing, you know. So again, that's another thing for beautiful women to understand. Don't allow your beauty to make you feel like you are untouchable or something like that either. Definitely protect yourself and stuff like that, but don't start using your beauty as like a weapon to go after other women's husbands and destroy marriages and seduce and rob men, and don't abuse the good thing that you have going on for yourself. God showed Diddy for who he was. Did you see the large tattoo on his back? Oh, what the tattoo of I forgot what her name is, the island deity on his back. Well, I mean, I don't judge people's religion. I mean, some people, that's their religion. That's what they follow. I can't. I'm a Christian, but I would never, you know, try to judge someone's belief system. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess if he had that deity on his back, maybe that's the deity that he believes in. I don't know. I don't really know much about Diddy and his. I don't know much about Diddy and his religion. I don't know what his religion is. I don't know what his belief system is. I don't really know. But what I do know is he let the money get to his head, and he started idolizing himself. And that's why he failed. And that's why most great men fail, is when you start to see yourself as an idol. That's when tables will turn. So I don't know that he had that tattoo on his back. I don't know about, listen, y'all, I don't know about deities. I don't really know about stuff like that. Like I've heard of certain different kinds, and I don't really know what they do, or like what they are, what they guard, or anything. So I don't really know. Oh, she guards women and children. Oh, okay. So that's like, I guess that was like probably his karma. Maybe he had like a contract with her, and because he started doing that stuff to women and children, it backfired. Is that what you mean? Oh, it's blasphemous for him to have. Yeah, because he idolizes himself. So when someone idolizes themselves, they don't see when someone idolizes themselves, they don't see how they're disrespecting a nationality or whatever. That's just like that guy that went to the rally and was saying that Latin people need to use condoms, or like some people, they have developed such an inflated narcissistic sense of self that they don't see consequences for what they say and what they do. So they say and do anything. They don't have a conscience. Your conscience is what's going to keep you from allowing your ego to take over you. That's what the conscience is there for. Like I remember I went to see a family member in a nursing home, and in this nursing home there was my family member's roommate that was like in his 90s in the nursing home. And when I went over to his side of the room, I noticed that under his seat was like maybe $3,000 in cash. He's old. Maybe he left it there. Maybe he forgot it there. So I picked it up and I counted it, and it was $3,000. And I tapped him from his sleep and I said, "Hey, I think you left this under your chair. I think you left this. It's $3,000. I think you left it." And he's like, "Oh." And I could tell that he didn't even realize the value of money. And I'm like, this is not good, because people take advantage of like the elderly, and sometimes even start financially stealing and taking from them because they're not all the way there. So what I did was, since I kept visiting this family member, is I ordered this guy a little like safe, and I put all his money in there, and I put the code to the safe. I attached it behind it with a sticker, just so his money is in a safe place. Now, if I was in my ego, and if I was into, being a nasty person, or I would have taken that money and went and bought stuff with it. So a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are like that. So I know the way I am, but I know other people are not like that. So I'm careful with other people, because you have to always tell yourself that people do not have the same heart as you. So you can't assume that because you wouldn't steal someone's money, that another person won't steal your money. I dislike the way Takeoff left the land of the living. Well, allegedly, Offset had a lot to do with that. And soon, allegedly, he's going to be going under the investigation for that. How do I separate myself from my narcissistic best friend? Just stop talking to her. Just stop talking to her. I know, because my dad's side is Haitian. However, I stick with God because it's just better for me. Yeah, whatever you feel like is better for you. This lady who used to care for my friend's mom stole her food stamp card. People will do that. People will do that. I'm not surprised. You have to always put in your mind that people will do that. I had friends, family, and coworkers were narcissistic. So true. I've had to learn that the hard way. Everybody doesn't have the same heart. Exactly. Exactly. And especially like again, because we were talking about that in this shot, like beautiful women. If you're a beautiful woman, um, people think you're dumb. They think that you don't have any street smarts and that you will fall prey to their attempts to set you up and that you're not aware of what they're getting ready to do. So they meet you and they're like, "Oh, she's so pretty. She'll be easy to set up or bully or be nasty to." Like I met this woman the other day for my business. And well, aside from YouTube, the other stuff that I do, and I knew she didn't like me from the moment she met me. I felt the jealous energy coming from her. But like I said, because I'm an introvert and I don't say much um, off my platform, people assume that because I'm quiet, I don't know what's going on. So I knew from it was hate from the gate. And I noted that mentally. I'm like, okay, noted, right? Noted. So I know this woman is jealous and she doesn't know me, but she doesn't like me for her own personal insecurities. I don't know what they are, but I'm going to always keep that in mind. Now, I'm helping out this woman's family member who's an elderly man. I'm helping him navigate. And every time this woman communicates with me, she has a complaint, right? Every time she communicates with me, she has a complaint. Now, I already know beautiful women trust no one, right? So a lot of people, when you're a beautiful woman, they think that you don't know what they're doing. That's the thing. They assume that you are aloof and they assume that you can't put two and two together. So because I'm helping out her elderly family member, and because her family member who referred her and this elderly man to me is a family friend doctor of mine, she can't directly target me in a negative way because of the relationship of how she encountered me, because her family is my family friend's primary doctor. So women have a lot of covert ways. Covert, meaning they're going to assess if they can directly bully and attack you. And if they can't do it in an overt way directly, they're going to do it in a covert way. But as long as they get it done, right? So I know that every time she calls me with a complaint, I know that it's not really about a complaint. She just wants to, she wants to be able to do that. Like she can't do it directly the way that she would be able to do it directly if I was just like a colleague or a stranger because of that relationship. She wants to make sure that she doesn't cross any lines to create hostility amongst that relationship. But she still has to nitpick. That's like when you guys understand the psychology of women and how they are, you will understand what I'm telling you. When they are jealous of a beautiful woman, if they can't come for you directly, they're going to come for you in a covert way, right? Where this woman is constantly calling about like BS, like stuff that don't make no sense. But I know that she just wants to act like she's concerned and act like she's complaining because of a concern, but she just wants to annoy me. So she's trying to do it in a covert way. And she thinks I'm stupid and I don't know what she's doing. So beautiful women have to understand that you can look really good and show up to a place and someone will tell you you look really bad, and you don't look bad, you look good. They just want you to feel like you don't. Like these are covert, like women have a lot of covert tendencies towards beautiful women because they have to assess how they can inflict something on you without being direct about it, depending on the relationship. So they're either going to do it in an overt way or they're going to do it in a covert way, where you could be thinking that a woman is trying to help you and she really wants you to look better and she really wants you to cover up. But in reality, that dress looks so good on you that she doesn't want you to wear that dress to the party so you don't outshine her. You're not dressed provocative at all. Just the dress and the way you look at it, it's triggering her insecurity. So she's going to convince you to wear something else so she can feel less insecure. You guys have to understand the covert tendencies that women carry and to be able to read in between the lines. Read in between the lines. And when you feel something funny about them or you feel like they may be jealous or whatever, then you should already know to watch that person because of their covert ways. They're very covert. They show fake concern and they make it seem like, oh, I don't want you showing your body that much. But it's not that at all. It's just that you look really good. And they want to make sure that you don't, or you will like a guy that they know is awesome, but they don't want you to have him. So they will downplay him and talk negatively about him. And they will say that he's not a good guy or he's not a good person. And that's not true at all. She just doesn't want you to be with him. Like I gotta make another video of that. You gotta learn like to be just as calculated as people are. Okay, so let me give you an example. I told you guys before I was like saved. When I was in college, I used to do music videos. Okay, I was a vixen for about a year or two. I was in college. College was so expensive. I needed the money. So I would do videos here and there, like Drake videos, Bad Bunny videos, Chris Brown, just what is it? Oh, yeah, Ozuna. Like I just videos here and there, nothing like butt naked or anything like that, but videos. And I remember I did a photo shoot. I used to do photo shoots a lot when I was in college. I was lifting weights a lot, so I would do a lot of like bikini photo shoots, not for attention, but because I was very proud with the progress I was making, and I wanted to advertise that. And being in the video industry, you need to have a portfolio of photos for them to show the artist, and then the artist will pick, oh, I want that girl, I want that girl, I want that girl, I want her, I want her. That way they can pick. So it's always good to have an updated portfolio. I posted one of my bikini pictures on my Instagram. I get a call, and again, beautiful women trust no one. People think a lot of women, people think beautiful women are dumb. I'm not aloof. I'm not Serena. I'm the Black Blair Waldorf. Like, I know game, okay? And I can't be, you can't, You won't be able to get up on me. Like, I'm not stupid. So I got a call from my mother, and she's like, "Oh, I think that you should take that photo down." I'm like, "What? Why do you think I should take that photo down?" She's like, "I think you should take that photo down." I said, "I showed you the photos. Like, I showed you. You're the one that told me it looks good, and you asked me to send it to you. Like, and now all of a sudden you want me to take them down? Like, what are you talking about?" And remember how I told you guys, like, ever since I was a little girl, I'm like very clairvoyant. So I always know what's going on. And I knew this wasn't my mom. If you guys think this was my mom being jealous, no, no, no. That's not what it was. I looked at her, and this was outside. I looked at her and I said, "Who called you to complain about my photo?" And she said, "Huh?" I said, "Somebody called you to complain about my photo. Who called you?" And my mom looked like a ghost when I said that, because she's thinking, "How do you know that? Like, how did you know someone called me?" I'm like, "Who called you? Who's the person? Give me a name." And I'm serious. And she named one of my cousins who, again, this is not me bashing women's sizes or anything, but she was probably like 600 pounds around that time, right? 600 pounds. No, not 600 pounds. No, let me not say that. Maybe 400, 300 or 400. No. Yeah, like 350 to 400 pounds. And she tells me that this is the cousin that called her complaining about the photo that I posted on Instagram. And that cousin called my mother complaining, saying, "Oh my God, like, I thought you guys were supposed to be Christians. You were so hard on me about Christianity. Why would you have your daughter post this?" And she was crying on the phone to my mother about it, right? And then that's when my mother called me to tell me, "Oh, you need to take it down," or whatever. Remember, I told you guys I'm not like my mother. I love her, but I don't play games with people. I don't allow people to project their insecurities onto me. And I don't play games with women. Okay, because I know how they are and I know what they'll do. And I know that if you don't stop them and if you don't create a boundary line with women, they will literally push a beautiful woman into the ground. And you have to be very aware of that. So I said, "Okay, so she's the one that called you about this?" And my mother said, "Yes." I said, "So how long ago was this?" She said, "Oh, she called me about it yesterday." I said, "Okay." So she has my phone number. She could text me, she could call me, she could DM me. But remember how I told you women are covert, and a lot of women are, excuse my language, they are cowards. A lot of them are cowards. So if they're going to do something to you, they're not going to be direct about it. They're going to be indirect about it, right? I'm not indirect about anything. I'm the most overt person ever. Like, I will call you, I will pull up to your house, I will pull up to the restaurant, like I will pull you to the side. Like, and that's why I've always struggled with having friendships and relationships with women, because they're covert and sneaky, and I'm not. I'm very straightforward, which is why they call me mean. So I pick up my phone and I call her. And she's like, "Oh, hey girl," like acting like she literally told my mother to not tell me that she called my mother. So I called her. But that's the thing, like, I can't use that term because I'm a Christian. So I'm not going to say I'm psychic. But modern, in modern, I guess secular terms, I would consider myself that. Because that's how I knew that energy that I was sensing was not coming from my mother, it was coming from someone else. So I called her and she's like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" Just being fake. I said, "Let me ask you a question." She's like, "Yeah, girl, what's going on?" I said, "Why did you call my mother to tell her that I needed to take my picture down? Like, why do you care about what I do?" And she's like, "Oh, Well, I didn't. I said, no, 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 don't backtrack now. And that's what a lot of women do is throw rocks and hide their hands because they don't do well with confrontation, which is why they do things covertly because they don't want to deal with the consequence of what they're doing. So they have to do it behind the scenes and hope they don't get caught, right? I said, no. I asked her and she told me that you called her to complain. I said, what? Like, are you jealous? Like, like what is it? Like I work really hard. I'm in the gym 24/7. Are you jealous? Are you insecure? Like what is it? Because I want to get to the bottom of it. And she's like, oh, well, I just feel like that picture was inappropriate. I said, well, if you felt like the picture was inappropriate, why didn't you call me? Why did you call my mother? Did you think she was going to get a belt and beat me? I'm grown. I can do whatever I want. So, what did you think was going to happen by giving that phone call? Like, did you think that I was going to get grounded or get a beating? Or what did you think my mother was going to do? She saw the photo when I took it and she loved it. But she lets people get into her head. I don't, because I know women are jealous. So I feel like you're jealous of my picture and it triggered an insecurity in you. So you went and called my mother covertly like a punk because you couldn't call me and you didn't know that it was going to get back to me. That's the thing. And that's how a lot of women are in the world. They do things and they feel like it's not going to get back to them. They're very sneaky. She didn't know that I was going to find out about this. And she's like, oh, well, I'm your older cousin and I really care about you. I said, you're a liar. No, you don't. You're just trying to pull the sympathy card because you got caught. You had an agenda of evil and you got caught. So now you're trying to flip the story and spin it and make it look like you were concerned for me. But if you were, you would have called me, not went behind my back and then try to get me in trouble. So the game that you're playing, it doesn't, like, women try to play these games and they think when you're beautiful, you're dumb and you're not going to know what they're doing and they're going to get away with it, which is why I tell you guys, I understand women like Evelyn Lozada. I get it. Sometimes you kind of, I'm not saying to be a bully, but you got to put that mean girl cap on so that they understand who's boss when it comes to your life. And they may not like it, but that's okay. So it gets worse, right? So she does all of that and she's like, oh, well, I thought it was inappropriate. My friends thought it was inappropriate. I said, well, you know what? The fact that your friends don't even follow me and you're also showing them my picture is even more of a confirmation that I look good. And also, since we are approaching Christmas, I'm going to go ahead and put an Amazon order for fan phone fingers. So I'm going to get one for you and each of your friends because you're all my fans. And I hung up the phone. And she started crying. Women always do that. When they get caught, the best thing to do is cry and act like a victim, right? Tears. The tears are going to help her feel bad. The tears are going to, they try to flip the script on the beautiful woman because now, because they got caught and you addressed them about it, now they have to cry to make it look like you harmed them in some way, right? They always try to flip it. They want to flip it to make you look bad for what they did to you, right? It's a lot of gaslighting when it comes to beautiful women. That's why a lot of beautiful women develop PTSD because they're constantly gaslighted or being thrown in situations where they were being pursued, but then when they spoke out, they were also the problem, right? And she started crying and I'm like, oh, I don't care. And I just moved on with my life. Like, that's just how I am. Like, I just don't care. I moved on with my life, whatever. Like, go ahead. Like, you're just trying to gaslight me. It's not going to work, but bye. I don't need a relationship. I'm cool. And that's the thing about being an introvert, is how much we don't really care to have relationships with people. Like, we have to really like you and consider you like a soulmate or a destiny helper or a soulmate friend. If we don't see you in that way, we don't care if we never speak to you again. And I get it. Most people are not like that. So they find that very cold, but introverts, we don't care. Like, we really, like, we don't care. First of all, we won't even notice. If we don't hear from you, we won't notice. Right? If we don't hear from you, if we don't hear from you, hold on. Okay. If we don't hear from you, we don't notice. And that offends people a lot, because it's like they feel like we are detached, or they feel like we don't care about people. And it's not that we don't care about people. It's just introverts kind of get hyper stimulated when there's too many people. So we rather have like one, two, like four people that are our people, and we kind of put our focus on them, right? And if you're not like a part of that four, if we never stop talking again, we don't care, right? So I moved on, and I forgot all about this person. And of course, she started going around the family saying that I hate her, that I hate her guts, that I can't stand her. It's a constant gaslighting that narcissistic, jealous family and women do, right? And the number one thing is to not allow them to flip the script in your reality, because you know the truth about what they did. So they can try to flip it to everyone else, but you have to stand on business at all times when the gaslighting starts. Because they're gonna try to flip it. 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 They are going to try and flip it. Okay. They are, and then by them flipping it, they want to flip it to see if you will believe the new narrative that they created. They're gonna try to flip it. So they can flip it with everyone else, that's fine. But you stand on business, because you know what they did, and you're not backpedaling on it. Okay, because you know that this person doesn't like you. And when someone doesn't like you, that's dangerous. So if you allow them to get in your mind, and you allow them to twist your perception, and you go back into agreement with that person, or you let that person come back in your life, you get whatever you deserve, whatever they're going to get ready to do to you, because you already know what's up. You know that person doesn't like you. So if you let them back in, baby, that's on you what happens after that, because you already know the truth, right? So I moved on with my life. 3 years later, this person ends up getting gastric bypass surgery. And after she got gastric bypass surgery, guess who's posting bikini pics 24/7? Guess who's going out with crop tops? Guess who's wearing low cut shirts? And it's like she always wanted to be able to do that. She's always wanted to be able to wear the bikini, to wear the low cut shirt, to wear the short. She's always wanted to be able to do that. So because I looked a certain way, she tried to crucify me for that, just to turn around and do the same thing. That's why I don't let people get into my head. They do this to beautiful women all the time. It's gaslighting. And this person has the audacity to think that I would let them in my life again, when I know that they're psycho. That's why I stopped talking to my mom and my dad's family. They're psycho. They're all like that. Every cousin, and they're all psychopaths and sociopaths, all of them. So, beautiful women trust no one. Oh, and let me add this for beautiful women trust no one. Ooh, I don't think you guys are ready for this point. I don't think I'm going to share this, because this is going to ruffle feathers if I share this. It's very dark. It's very dark. I don't know if I should share this. It's very dark. And like the way my mind works, my mind goes to the depths of the earth. That's how deep of a person I am. That's why it's not that I'm pessimistic or that I'm dark. It's that I know the realities of life and I know the truths of life. And that's why as a teenager I struggled so much with depression, because I know the real deal about life, and I accept those truths. Beautiful women, when people apologize to you, it's rarely genuine. When people apologize to you, it's usually so that they can get back in your good graces, so you can drop your guard down again to let them back in so they can hit you harder the second time around. Okay? It's usually not genuine. Sometimes they only apologize because they didn't think you would cut them off. People have an obsession with hurting the beautiful woman. So when you cut them off, they have to apologize to you in order to stay in your camp. The apology is not real. It's not real. It's not real. It's so that they have, it's so that they are able to stay around, so that they didn't hit you hard enough. So they need to be able to stay in your orbit. Because I actually forgave this cousin after that, and she did something worse with me afterwards. And I'm going to share that in a second. She did something worse. And that's why I've learned as a beautiful woman that I don't do second chances. I don't. I don't do second chances. Once someone shows me that they do not like me, it's over for you. It's a wrap for you. You can apologize. I accept it. I'm a Christian. I forgive you. But you can't come around me anymore, because I already know you don't like me. Just because you've apologized to me doesn't change the fact that you don't like me. Just because someone apologizes to you, it doesn't change the fact that they're jealous of you and they want your life. It's just an apology because they got caught for what they did. It doesn't mean that they like you. You guys got to learn people, because I feel like you guys sometimes are still in la la land. Hold on, let me get my charger. A lot of you guys, you don't get it. You don't get it. You really don't understand it. Ooh, how am I going to get this to stand? Okay, I'm going to just have to hold it. Can I make this lean? I don't have my stand for this, and I don't feel like getting up to get it. I feel like that's going to be too much work. All right, I'm going to just have to hold it while it charges. Let me see if I can just... Where's my other phone? This is annoying. My phones never have charge, and I don't want this to die. Wasn't supposed to say that. Let's see. So what was I saying again? Oh yeah. The apology is not real. They just kind of want to get back into your good graces so they can have the opportunity to hurt you again. So that's why I always tell beautiful women, once you've come to the conclusion that a woman doesn't like you, and you've come to the conclusion that you trigger insecurity in her, that feeling that she feels is never going to go away. Even after she apologizes to you, she still feels that way about you. So those type of friendships, I saw this lady post something on TikTok, and she was so real. She said, those type of friendships where you guys got to keep being friends, breaking up, being friends, breaking up. Like you guys are always friends and then not friends. Just go ahead and terminate the friendship, because if the person's jealous of you, it's going to constantly be a roller coaster of a friendship, because you're going to keep forgiving them and then they're going to do something else. Then you're going to forgive them and then they're going to do something else. And it's like you're going to have to constantly be forgiving this person the entire friendship, because they're going to keep trying you. So when someone is jealous of you, even if they decide, okay, she's not that bad, let me be nice to her, those same feelings are going to come back again, and then they're going to attack again. And I'm going to tell you what this cousin did the second time. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me grab the stand. I'm going to pause the live. YouTube, you guys can stay. I just have to pause the TikTok live because I don't want to, you have to live. Yeah, a lot of people, moral compass is not centered. Oops. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you what this person did, but I got to grab the stand for this. So hold on. I just got to grab. Where is the stand? I hope this works, because I got to charge. I don't. How do I get this to? How did I do this? How did I do this before? I thought this had an extender. Hold on, you guys. Is there another one? That is so odd. I don't remember. I remember this having an extender. Or does it not? It's weird. I remember I was able to extend this, because that means that I would have to grab my, no, I don't feel like doing that. That's weird. I thought that I would be able to, oh, okay. There we go. It worked. Patience is key. Let's see if I can. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can. Ooh. Oh, Lordy. Hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. Technical difficulties here. Sorry. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Okay. I think we're better now. Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm trying to charge. Okay, hold on, you guys. I'm going to try this one more time. I'm trying to just get, do you guys have any ideals? This is getting annoying. I just want to charge. Okay, you know what? I'm going to just hold it. It's okay. Okay, it's okay. I'm going to just hold it. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so as I was saying, yes, so beautiful women trust no one, right? The apologies that people give you, sometimes you think that they're honest. And I'm not saying that the apologies you get are never honest, but usually when you've come to the conclusion that a woman is jealous of you or doesn't like you, or a man is jealous of you and doesn't like you, and they apologize, understand that their apology towards you may be an apology, but it doesn't change the fact that they don't like you as a person, though. So, what are you going to do about that part of the deal? And that's how a lot of people end up in these cycles where someone keeps hurting them, because, um, again, like it's it's the way that you make them feel that they don't like. It's the way that you make them feel. Um, and this person, did something else to me after I forgave her, after I was convinced to forgive her. This person is she just didn't want to stop. She just wanted to keep doing things until I cut her off indefinitely. And then she got into the situation, like a negative circumstance, and she expected me to show up at least, and I didn't, because that's how it was, a very, very, very bad circumstance, and I didn't. And she started to cry about that and play victim again, not realizing that you abused my presence in your life by trying to afflict me. So why would you think that because you're going through this hard time that I would show up for you? Like, that's, again, not how life works. So beautiful women, even the apologies sometimes are not really sincere, because if someone apologizes to you and they're sincere, they're not going to do it again. If they do it again, that means that they were not sincere. I remember this reminds me of when I was in college. I had a issue, and me and my best friend, we got in an argument or whatever, and I was really mad at her about something, and she apologized to me, right? And then there was a situation that came up where someone found out about something that they were not supposed to find out about. So I went to my best friend and I'm like, did you say something? Because the last time, we had an argument about this. Was this you again? And she, like, literally started crying. And she's like, I would never do that to you again. I promised you that I would never do that to you again. You already spoke to me about that. You already told me that hurt you. I apologize to you. I would never do that to you again. And I found out that it wasn't her. It was someone else that said something. So when someone apologizes to you and they're sincere, they're not going to do that thing again. If they do it again, then that means that they want to do it, right? Like they want to keep hurting you over and over again, right? So yeah, apologies or changed behavior, CMED, exactly. So this person, okay, so remember, oh my God, I don't think I can go into that because I'm going to be here all night and it's already 12. But do you guys remember that story that I told you guys about the church, the prophetic church that did a humiliation ritual on me? Because the first lady was jealous of me and she thought that her man wanted me. So she got me kicked off of all, the teams. Yeah, the first lady was jealous of me because her husband was in my DMs and I got kicked off the teams, all the teams. And they tried to do a humiliation ritual on me, and that's why I say beautiful women trust no one. That's why when I go to churches, I don't join groups or anything. Like if I go to a church and they're like, hey, do you want to be part of our, no, I don't join groups. I come to church because I have to, not because I want to. If God did not demand Christians to go to church, I would never step foot in a church. Especially after that experience, I would never step foot in a church, because honestly, if it's not like a prophetic church, I don't really even feel like I don't feel like I'm learning anything. I feel like I'm just hearing things that I've been hearing since I was born. So I go because God says I have to go and to make my family happy. But if it wasn't for them, I would not go to it. I would not go to church. I don't feel like it. I feel like my spirituality will grow regardless. Like if there was no access to churches, I would still hear from God and I would still talk to him. So basically I got kicked off all the teams because the first lady was jealous of me because her husband was in my DMs and she was jealous of me. I think that when a non-Black woman sees a beautiful Black woman, it triggers their main character syndrome, because how dare you be Black and I'm not, but in the looks department, you trump me. Like they kind of they take it very offensive when you are a Black woman and they're not Black, and they cannot stand next to you in the beauty department. They take it in such an aggressive way. The offense that they feel is so high that if they can straight up end you, they will. And I don't even think that this first lady, her jealousy was due to her man talking to me. I think it was just jealousy, period, because she couldn't accept the fact that a Black woman is more beautiful than her, that a Black woman is more educated than her, that a Black woman is the full package. She couldn't accept that. And a lot of women have that main character syndrome, which is why, in the words of Shanika Adams in particular, if you are a beautiful Black woman, you should be completely unapproachable. I'm not saying be mean or be evil, but you should be an unapproachable person. You know, like you have to have the type of aura or look where people are afraid to approach you and say anything to you. And it's unfortunate, but you have to be that way. You have to be that way. So I got kicked off of all the teams and I got kicked off of everything, right? So this cousin was going to that church. She's actually the one that brought us to that church. When I explained everything to her, she was not really on my side. She actually started hammering me. When I explained the story to her, she immediately took their side. And that's the problem. When you keep someone around you that does not like you, it's a waste of time. That's why I don't like it when women, if you're going to book a girl chat with me, don't waste your girl chat money talking about a friend. If you know that they don't like you, I'm not going to tell you anything different. Just cut them off and move on. I'm not going to tell you anything different. I'm not going to tell you what you already know. She is wicked. All of my family members are wicked. So she was taking that woman's side, and I was telling her, like, these people in this church are very evil. Like, the first lady is evil. I don't even think this woman's a Christian. Like, I don't know what she is, but I don't think she's a Christian. The pastor is evil. The whole team is evil. Like, all these people are evil. And I kept trying to explain that to her, but she didn't want to see it. It's not until a year later, when all the allegations against these people came out, that's when my cousin and her husband left the church. But she never told me or my mother, oh, you guys were right. Because when someone is jealous of you, they want to believe that you're in the wrong. And I think she was happy that I got humiliated. I think that she liked that I got humiliated. I think that she liked that I got kicked off of everything. She liked that because she's jealous of me, right? So once I realized that she was jealous of me, I was like, why are you like in my life? Like, I'm just not at the age to keep people around because of their title. I'm not at the age to keep people around because that's the right thing to do. If I don't like you, I don't need you around me. It doesn't matter what your title is. So she had some wild situation happen to her, and I guess she thought I was going to show up because it was that serious, and I didn't. And I think that really offended her, because she just didn't understand why I didn't show up or anything like that. But I know you don't like me. And if you don't like me, why do you want to see my face during your hard times? Like, it's a disease when these women are like that. That's why I always tell beautiful women, don't trust anyone, even people at your church. I got set up to get publicly humiliated in front of an entire group of about 40 people. And when this minister tried to humiliate me and I got him in order, it was a shock to him, because again, when you're a beautiful woman and you're quiet, people like to test you. They're not sure. But the way that I looked at him, he knew from that moment, ooh, I messed up. Like, you can tell in his face that The reaction he got from me was not what he expected. Because when you're a beautiful woman and you're quiet and you stay to yourself, people see you as easy prey. So when you flip that switch, it's a shocker for them. It's a shocker for them. And it was a shocker to him because he was just like, whoa, like, I didn't know she gets down like that. I didn't know she could react like that. Like, I didn't see that coming, because they don't understand how much beautiful women have to fight in their lifetime, and how many people beautiful women have to fight off. From the time you're a little girl, girls in pre-K are pulling your hair, boys are spitting in your face. Like, they don't understand that you've been fighting since birth, because that's the price of beauty. So he was flabbergasted, just like Laura was flabbergasted with Malaysia. They don't expect. People enjoy bullying beautiful women so much, and beautiful women have such insecurities because of the bullying that people have done to them, that they're very easy prey because they want people to like them. I don't need you to like me. I like myself. And I don't want you to talk to me either, if I'm really being honest. So that right there is a trigger for many people, because they won't be able to inflict pain on you, right? Because you already know game, right? So yeah, she was on their side until all the allegations about this church came out. And then she left, but she never told me. Well, she can't tell me because she doesn't speak to me. We don't speak. We haven't spoken in a year, and that's never going to change. That's indefinitely. But she never really told my mother, oh, you were right. You were right about everything. Like, no, they're not going to tell you that, because they always want to feel like you were in the wrong. And the fact that you're not, and you were right all along, they don't want to believe that you were right, because they want to believe that you were wrong. People always want beautiful women to believe that they are wrong. They want to gaslight you. They want to crucify you, really, and always make you feel like they want to put a scarlet letter on you, for you to always feel like you're overreacting, right? Or the bullying that you're seeing is not real. The pain that they're inflicting, it's not real. It's all in your mind. Because people, it's fun for people when the beautiful woman is getting tomatoes thrown at them. Like, when they did that humiliation ritual, I could feel the satisfaction in people's auras. Like, I feel like they were happy that happened to me. And all those people went down one by one. They all went down. And they will continue to go down, because I'm not going to stop praying about them. I fight on my knees. I'm not going to stop praying about them. I will get justice. And until I feel like I've had enough justice, I'm not going to stop praying. I'm still not satisfied. And that's the problem. When someone crosses me, I will never be satisfied until it's a wrap for you. And that's where the other part of my personality that I try to put underground, that's when that part starts to come up, because I need justice, and I need to really feel like you got what you deserved. And until I feel that way, I'm not going to stop pleading for my case. And some people are like, why don't you just get over it? Because I'm not satisfied. That's why. I still want justice. I'm still pleading for my case. I don't want an apology from those people. I don't want your apology, because I'm not going to let you back in. So there's no point. I want justice. And I'm going to keep praying until it's fully served. And that's just how I can't backpedal once I get to that point. I can't backpedal anymore. That's the thing. And a lot of them, when they do those things to you, and the karma starts to happen and the justice is being served, they start to get nervous, and they think, well, let me try to apologize to her, or let me try to meet with her, or let me try and talk to her, or because they're afraid because things are unraveling. This is spiritual. Things are unraveling. So they feel like, okay, things are unraveling for me negatively so quickly because of what I did to this girl or what I did to this person. So maybe if I can, if she can forgive me, and maybe if I can come back into her good graces, the karma will stop. When they have visited every witch doctor that they can ever visit and it doesn't work, that's when they start to panic, because they're like, when is the karma gonna stop? And I've tried visiting people for this person, but the karma is still, it's still unraveling. So they try to come and get in your good graces, but it's not everybody that you can come back in their good graces though. There are some people you're going to have to spiritually take those punches because you mess with the wrong person. It's not everyone that you can come back in their good graces. Exactly, Riri. You got to take it up with God. You can't take it up with me because I'm done with you. I'm done with you. So you can't come back here and take it up with me. I already took it to the courts of heaven. I can't, I've washed my hands. I've washed my hands, but I know how I feel, and I'm going to keep doing what I do until I get justice. That's why I keep telling people, you gotta really be careful who you bother, because not every, some people are serious about their life and they're not gonna let you back in after you cross them negatively. Okay? Some people, once you do that, it's over. Like, you won't be able to fix it again. Oh my God, I did the thing this weekend where you play dumb to see if people try to take advantage. And this lady who was a teacher at a workshop I attended tried to covertly manipulate me into a person. Yes. Yes. It was a horrible humiliation ritual that they tried to do. They tried to completely ruin me, like, I mean, publicly, right? And they were all in on it. All of them. The first lady was in on it. That's why when you are a chosen one, when you are a star seed, you got to stay away from people. You can't, you just have to be a ninja, and you got to ride alone. Okay, you got to learn how to ride alone and be comfortable riding alone. Has anyone ever watched Vampire Diaries? Catherine, that's me. That's like my alter ego. Like, you got to ride alone because you know too much, you're too smart, and spiritually you're too powerful, and they know that. So by you crossing your T's and dotting your I's, riding alone, that keeps yourself safe. Okay? It's a safety precaution. Stop seeing it as something negative. You know too much. You're too smart. You're too anointed. God loves you too much. So you're going to have to learn how to vibe out. Okay? That's why Elena was always falling into inconveniences, because she had no street smarts and she kept trusting people. Catherine never trusts anyone. That's why she could not be taken out. Even when they thought they took her out, she just went into another person's body to stay alive. That's how on game she was. And she didn't waste her time with pointless connections, or creating connections with people who wanted her out to take her out, to end her. She didn't waste her time on Bonnie. You know, Bonnie was too selfless. That's why Bonnie, she lost her mother, she lost her grandmother, she lost everybody, because she kept trying to save everyone as opposed to saving herself. And she was one of the most powerful witches on the show. And if she channeled that energy to herself, she would have taken them all out. But she lost at the end because she kept giving herself away instead of preserving herself. On that show, listen, you will learn when you start watching fiction shows. You will learn more from the villains on the show. The villains usually have the best street smarts to take as an example. The villains. Okay, like Klaus, uh, Catherine, what was the other one name? The other one, the wild guy who was trapped in the other dimension, Kai. You will learn more from villains on shows because in real life you have to be that way or you're going to end up like Bonnie, alone, by yourself, and you spent your entire life saving other people and you never saved yourself. So you end up like Bonnie, or you end up like Elena, constantly needing to be saved, constantly falling into traps, constantly walking into inconveniences because you save other people before saving yourself. Remember when Catherine was in that cave, having fun in the cave, and they showed up to the cave not knowing that she had someone seal the cave, and if you come in the cave, you're not getting out. And they didn't know that. So they showed up to the cave and she snatched Elena and threw her in the cave. And Elena was trapped in there. She was not going to let anyone take her out. It just, and then when that humiliation ritual happened to me at that church service, I felt not angry in particular at the people. I was angry at myself because I'm like, why was I not fast enough? Why was I not sharp enough? Why was I not aware that I was in a lion's den? Why did I let it get to this point? Like, I beat myself up for months. But guess what? It literally changed a part of my soul. I was reborn again after that situation. I'm happy that it happened because God used it to teach me that you are so powerful that even people who have more power than you will try to take you down. So in a way, God used that to show me what I placed in you is so powerful that people on stages will stop at nothing to remove you. So now you watch your back. And I feel like that's what God used that situation. He used that situation to make me stronger. That now you know that nobody's safe. You can't confide in anyone but me. And you can't lean on anyone but me. And don't look up to anyone. And that's what he taught me. So it definitely, I beat myself up a lot because I was thinking to myself, dang, girl, how you let yourself fall into that trap? I kept thinking over and over again. I kept replaying the scenarios. Like, where did I miss it? Why didn't I see it? Why did I doubt myself? Why did I allow anyone to convince me otherwise? Why did I, and that situation definitely changed a part of my soul because one, it taught me that jealousy is real. And there's no shape, size, gender. It's real. It's a real thing. And people are really watching you from afar, appearing as fans, appearing as family, appearing as supporter. But on the low, they have a very, in my culture, we call it a big heart. A big heart towards you is like a heart full of rage and envy towards you. They have a big heart towards you and you don't even see it. So it taught me that jealousy is real. Two, it taught me don't ever disrespect intuition. Don't ever disrespect intuition. Intuition will save your life. Don't disrespect intuition. If your stomach and your spirit and your mind and your intuition is telling you something, do not disrespect intuition, because if you do, you're going to catch some heavy hands. I hope you got your boxing gloves ready, because if you disrespect intuition and you do not allow intuition and Holy Spirit to say, hey, get up out of there, I'm not going to tell you this again, and you keep ignoring it, You're going to get beat up spiritually. You're going to get put in a headlock. Okay, that's the second thing it taught me. And the third thing it taught me is to just keep people away from you. Like, just, especially the ones that have so much curiosity about you. Like, like, no, like, you have to just be very eerie and very weary. And yes, you're right, the moonstone. When Catherine was in the cave and they thought that they, okay, so basically, in this scenario, wow, this actually has a spiritual meaning to it. Basically, she was like on the show, she was like a very, very, very powerful vampire. Very powerful vampire. And they were threatened by that because she's so cunning. Like, you just don't know what she's going to do. A lot of people were very scared of her because the way that her brain works, you can't get her, right? So they were afraid of her. I don't know, something happened and they threw her in a cave and she couldn't get out the cave. Like, they spiritually sealed the cave so she can't leave. She's stuck in there. Right? And they would just feed her with like bottles and stuff. They would roll it into the cave, but she could not physically get out of the cave because they sealed it. But one day, somebody, Elena, the one that I told you that's always falling into traps and stuff, was desperate for information. So she went down to the cave where Catherine was to get the info. She went by herself because the people that were protecting her would never allow her to go. So she went by herself. So when she got to the cave, she starts asking Catherine all these questions that she has to find out info about where this moonstone or whatever is located, right? So you pull up to a woman with street smarts. You pull up to a woman who is the most lethal vampire on the show. You pull up to a con artist by yourself. And a lot of women fall into this because in your mind, you believe that this person is going to have empathy for you. And in your mind, you believe that this person won't hurt you. How many of us as women have been in that place where we give people that type of benefit of the doubt? So you pull up empty-handed with nothing. Okay. And on the show, Elena was not a vampire yet. So she didn't have any supernatural strength or supernatural speed or any of that. So she pulled up as a mortal to a cave with a 50,000-year-old cunning vampire woman. And you think because the cave is sealed that you're going to be safe. She shows up. I don't really remember how the scene happened. I don't know if she tripped. I don't know if Catherine threw something at her to make her trip. She tripped. Catherine grabbed her and pulled her into the cave, right? And that was her leverage right there. Okay. Elena became her leverage. She knew the guys were going to come looking for her. And now she could bargain. If you want her, get me out of here. She's a con artist. Like, you can't. So in life, that's how people operate. And you need to be on your P's and Q's and crossing your T's and dotting your I's and not becoming naive so you don't end up like Elena Gilbert, stuck in a cave as a mortal with a 50,000-year-old vampire woman. Right? So they couldn't find Elena. So they come to the cave, the two guys, and they're angry because why did you even come here by yourself? Why did you assume that you were going to be able to outsmart this person? And that is something, and a lot of beautiful women fall into this where you're dating a guy and you're thinking, oh, I'm beautiful. I'm going to just date him for money and I'm going to squeeze him out of his money, not knowing that that man has been watching you for months. And you're not going to squeeze him out of anything until he gets what he wants out of the deal. They come there, they're angry. They're like, why did you come to this cave by yourself? This is a 50,000-year-old vampire. You cannot outsmart her. Now you're stuck in a cave, and if we don't let her out, she's going to remove you from the land of the living. So now they have to let this well, I'm not going to call Catherine unhinged. She's not unhinged. She just has a lot of street smarts. Now they have to let her out. They have to let her out. They have no option. They have no other option. Now they have to let her out of the cave. And they're pissed because this woman is a loose cannon, a wild card, but they got to let her out. They have no option. And Elena's in the background crying. How many of us used to be the Elena crying where we gave someone the benefit of the doubt, or we were naive, and now we're in a compromising situation that we can't get out of? I've been that Elena several times. Now I'm the Catherine, but I've been that Elena several times. So they say, oh, well, give her back. We'll let you out. And she said, okay, but let me out first. And they said, are you crazy? No, you hand her back to us and we'll let you out. She said, oh, well, then she's not coming out. I have to be let out first, and then she can be let out. And they're like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, yes. And then because she's so cunning and she's so smart, she knows that even if they let her out, there may be 15 people waiting for her outside the cave that want to end her. So she made sure that they showed up to that cave, right? And the person that did the work to create that blockage from anyone leaving the cave, she made them call, I think in the show, she made them call Bonnie and said, you guys have to bind yourselves, let me out, and then unbind yourselves. Right? That was her, because she doesn't know that if they let her out, they may all just jump on her, attack her, do whatever. So they had to actually, so Bonnie had to come in and bind everyone, unbind her, let her out, and then unbind everyone. That's how on top of things she is. And that is how I try to train men and women to be. You're always thinking ahead of the game. You're always 15 steps ahead. You're always making sure that you come out alive. You're not going to let yourself be the prey. Okay? So that's a great analogy about also like how life is. Like, don't show up to an environment or something like that if you're not ready, if you're not prepared, if you don't have the street smarts, if, stay out of it, because you may end up putting yourself in a situation that you can't battle. Okay? Well, anyways, y'all, I am getting tired. I recommend that you guys watch that clip or watch the show. It's now I was watching that show when I was in high school. Now that I'm older, you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot from watching that show. It'll teach you about how life works. There's this other show that I really want you guys to watch. If you're Black or white, it doesn't matter. Regardless of the name, you can watch it. Watch is it Bold and Black? Black and Bold? I think it's Bold and Black. I finished the entire show in one night. So if I finish a whole show or a whole season in one night, you got to watch it. And those shows really teach you how the world works and how people work. So it'll help you develop the street smarts that you need to survive, especially as a beautiful woman. Anyways, I